please rise and remove your hats as the Indiana National Guard Joint Service presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Mark Wright, the pastor at Venture Christian Church, offers today's invocation.
Let's pray. Lord God, thank you for this beautiful day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Indy 250. Lord, it's a great day to be together, and we thank you so much for all that you've done for us. And Father, today we remember those who have recently been affected by hurricanes, and our hearts go out to them. And Father, we want to just thank you so much for our first responders and the great security they give us, and to our military who give us these freedoms and protect us and always are watching over us. And Father, here today for these drivers, we want to ask you for safety and for a steady hand, and Lord, to give their loved ones a calm assurance in their skills. And finally, Lord, may the roar of these engines and the shout of this crowd be a joyful noise unto you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, 19-year-old rising star and Big Machine recording artist, Peyton Smith.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
100 laps, 250 miles. Waiting on the other side of the break, our announcers ready to bring this race to you radio style. A piece of history coming up next.
100 laps, getting ready to run the Indiana 250 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For 110 years, they have been racing at this racetrack. And Steve, there are kids in this field that weren't even alive when stock cars started racing here back in 1994.
Yeah, in certain sports, there are venues that are as famous as the sports that are competed on. For motor racing, it's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Regardless of the discipline that these young drivers started in, whether it was open wheel, stock car, dirt, pavement, drag racing, I don't care if it's your BMX bike, you dreamt and you watched the races that happened at these hallowed grounds, and now they get to compete here. Winning here would be the biggest line item on any of these drivers' resumes. This is like no other racetrack.
Winning here, you become legendary. We are going to do this broadcast radio style, so that means we will have faces all the way around and voices around this racetrack. In turns 1 and 2, it'll be MRN Sirius XM's Mike Bagley. In turn 3, he'll hand it off to Parker Kligerman. In turn 4 will be Jeff Burton, and then Steve and I will be here at the start-finish line in the Pagoda. Let's check in with the guys around the track. We start with Mike Bagley.
Rick, hello and good afternoon, everyone. Positioned at the south end of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is the portion of the racetrack that when you come off the end of the front stretch into turn 1, you want to make sure the car is comfortable. You're going to have a lot of cars around you to race with. That'll be the case through the short chute and through turn 2. Last year's race was incredible. It was phenomenal. 2, 3, 4 wide racing. We expect much of the same here this afternoon. I got you covered in 1 and 2. Once the field leaves the backstretch or leads turn 2 up the backstretch, they'll race to Parker Kligerman's view in turn 3.
Right, Bagman. And when I take over, this is where the drivers are trying to juke and jive and trying to break that draft. We saw it all last year. Drivers trying to move to the bottom, to the top, trying to get away from helping the cars behind them or trying to push the cars in front of them. That sets them up into turn 3, which I was just in the Cup Series practicing, and I can tell you is a tricky corner right now because the penetrant that was put across this racetrack, it's all black. There's no real groove. Therefore, it's very tough to figure out where you're going as you go into 3 and towards you, Burton.
Yeah, and as you get towards me, turn 4 is so important, just like turn 2, because it leads to these exceptionally long straightaways. If you enter turn 4 side by side, the guys behind you are going to have so much of a run that they're going to pass you down the front straightaway. So you have to time your passes. A mistimed pass here can actually cost you positions, even if you're trying to pass a car that's slower than you are.
Yeah, we are very excited about this style of broadcasting from one perch to the next as this field will work their way around the track. It's time to get things fired up. Fire the engines. We go trackside for the command.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome distiller for Big Machine Vodka, Margot Molnar, and Big Machine Vodka Executive Vice President, Mark Borchetta.
Drivers, start your engines!
All right, bud, fired up when you're ready.
Biggest name in the Xfinity Series, Kyle Busch, is going to try to take on the biggest name in racetracks. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. William Byron wins at Indy. Allgaier will win at Indy.
Heck yeah! You guys are awesome!
5 wins on the season for Cole Custer.
Austin Cindric, he is heading the victory lane. Cindric is going to get the biggest win of his life.
Tyler Reddick is going to win at Bristol.
It's a big day for Christopher Bell. Hell yeah!
Win number 6 for Christopher Bell.
Still 2 more opportunities before the playoffs get underway for wins, and what bigger stage than right here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's go trackside to Rutledge Wood.
You know, Rick, one thing we're going to have to watch today is pit road. It's a really narrow space, but the pit boxes themselves are very long. Teams are going to try to stay as close to the edge as possible, but the real question is, are we going to see mistakes made here? Because the teams only come here once a year. We are going to find out, Rick. Dylan?
And Rutledge, Kyle Busch, every time he gets in one of these NASCAR Xfinity cars, he instantly becomes the man to beat. That's been true the last 2 races for Kyle, but mechanical gremlins have haunted this 18 team. Talked to crew chief Ben Bayshore just a little bit ago. He said that they're optimistic, but almost cautiously so. They know that nothing's guaranteed until they cross the finish line first. Kelly?
This time last year, Justin Allgaier celebrated his 5th win of the season by kissing the bricks. He told me it's probably his favorite career win. Problem is, it's also his most recent win. And he said, given the way the team's been running this year, it feels more like 5 years since he's been in victory lane. So while his playoff spot is secure on points, this could be just the momentum boost they need to get back-to-back wins at the Brickyard. Dave?
Kelly, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway helps young racers fulfill their dreams if they can get here. When Cole Custer was young, he raced in 3 different classes, probably 5 different times, here in the parking lots at IMS. All the way from California he came. It got him experience here, but what he really wants is a trophy in the Xfinity Series today, Marty.
Dave, this race is an interesting dilemma for Tyler Reddick. Not known for his patience. You have to be very patient when you're working the draft here at Indy, but known for his aggressiveness. That's maybe the biggest key to winning here at the Brickyard. Aggressive restarts late in the race could get Tyler Reddick 1 spot better than he got last year, and that would mean victory lane, Rick.
Thanks, Marty. We see Tyler Reddick. He's going to be in the 2nd row. The starting grid's going to roll across the bottom of the screen. The top 3 cars in qualifying were all Joe Gibbs Racing cars. A little bit further back, starting in the 7th position, will be Justin Haley. Let's dial him up on the radio.
All right, let's see if we can get a hold of Justin. Hey, Justin, Steve Letard in the NBCSN booth. You got a copy, pal?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, sir, we all know how famous this racetrack is, but explain to everyone just how special it is to be a race car driver from here in Indiana, making your first ever start here at the Brickyard.
Yeah, growing up here in Indiana definitely means a lot to finally have the opportunity to come here and race in this awesome paint scheme. It's a family paint scheme this weekend, throwing it back to my grandfather and everything he did for my family and me in my racing. So, College Racing built 2 fast Chevrolets, got some great ECR under the hood today, got some good power. So, qualified 7th and see if we can kiss the bricks at the end of the day. I'd love it.
You mentioned that's the goal, kiss the bricks. What's it going to take with this aero package and the drafting? What's your strategy for today's race?
You're definitely going to need some help, so having Austin Dillon, my teammate in the field here, is definitely going to help. Going to need 2 cars to pass one, so we'll just see. It's kind of like truck racing. The package is pretty similar with these big track ducks, so we'll see what the day brings and just be conservative till the last few laps and go for it.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time for the fans here right at the start of the race. Good luck. We'll be watching.
Thank you, boys.
And you see we're looking back right now at Justin Haley. He has the leaf filter on board. He mentioned he'll be starting in the 7th position.
20 of Christopher Bell starting in the inside of the 2nd row. I have the Toyota onboard camera.
00 of Cole Custer will start in the 11th position today, and he has the Goodyear onboard camera.
Number 8, Junior Motorsports entry, Jeb Burton with the State Water Heaters onboard camera, and more than just onboard, but on helmet. Our man Jeb is going to carry the helmet cam today.
You mentioned Junior Motorsports. Let's bring in Dale Earnhardt Jr. Right now he's on the Mobile One Peacock pit box. He'll be anxiously watching this one from right there on pit road.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm going to be down here watching the race and listening to you guys call it and sort of picking up on some things. It'll come back to me after each stage and hopefully at the end of the race to see what we're watching and what we're observing and what these drivers need to do to try to win this thing today. We're going to watch a little bit of practice from earlier today, and what we're seeing is obviously guys being able to get runs, get drafts on each other, some blocking, some guys going high-low to get around each other. We're going to see even more of this today because obviously we got all the cars on the racetrack, everybody battling for position. And what I want to see from all the drivers is if you get a run, make the pass. I do not want to see a driver with a run push another driver. I want to see these guys take an opportunity because they're going to be few and far between true opportunities to take these runs and make passes. I want to see them take those opportunities and see what they can do with it. Track position is key. Work your way to the front.
Junior, that's interesting. We heard Marty say that you've got to be patient, but Tyler Reddick might be aggressive. So we'll see which one pays off today. Let's go back down to pit road. Dylan Walsh.
Well, Rick, if you like underdogs, we've got one for you. Greg Golding in the 08 car sits 13th in points, 119 below where he needs to be to make the playoffs. It's a small team with a big goal, and that is to make the playoffs. They're embracing that underdog mantra. They are excited to come here because of their success they've had this year in drafting-dependent races. They had a second-place finish at Talladega in April. They know that this weekend they have a much better shot to gain points and, quite frankly, to maybe win than they do next week at Vegas. They're laying it all on the line today. Kelly?
Austin Cindric's playoff spot is secure thanks to back-to-back road course wins this season, but the 21-year-old anxious now to show his prowess for oval racing. He called his sixth-place qualifying effort today, quote, underwhelming, and the team feels like they've got a much better race car for the race here today. They feel like they should be contending for the win here and kissing the bricks later on today, Dave.
Well, speaking of that, Kelly, from Mitchell, Indiana comes Chase Briscoe, and when he was a teenager, he got a tour of the place. He's been here many times that included looking at the yard of bricks. The person giving the tour said, hey, you want to bend down and kiss the bricks? He said, no way. I'm going to wait until I can do that later when I'm racing here. He hopes that day is today, Marty.
That's a great story, Dave. How about Christopher Bell? We got a preview a moment ago when Junior was chatting about what the racing will look like today, and it's going to be action-packed. Bell told me I worked the draft excellent last year, but at the end, I zigged when I should have zagged. You never know what's going to happen until the very end of this race, Rick. It's going to be exciting, Wang, I can tell you that.
Thank you, Marty. And we want to listen in. Obviously, before you get ready to go, you got the psych-up talks, the pep talks. Let's listen in to the 2 radio and how they're doing.
Okay, well, have a good one, buddy. I know it's your kind of race.
Yes, sir.
And Randall, those guys will take care of you. I'll assure you.
Then we ran into RC. That was Richard Childress. Saw him last night out in downtown Indianapolis. He had a big smile on his face. I think everybody, when you come to Indianapolis, such an incredible facility, the history here. Give us a little bit of the details of this race, though, Steve.
Well, it's 100 laps, 250 miles. There'll be 3 stages in total. The first and the second stage, both 30 laps. The final stage, 40 laps. Fuel window, a little over 40 laps, though. So we're going to see if somebody has a good strategy trying to get their driver out front. But this race has been exciting the last few years. It just, this aero package, these cars match up with this track so well. I'm pumped up. I'm ready.
2x2, 19 rows, 38 cars on the inside. Kyle Busch, Brandon Jones on the outside as we get ready to see the green flag from right here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're racing at the Brickyard.
Here comes the field into turn 1. They're side by side for the lead. Kyle Busch is not able to get out in front to his right elbow. You've got his teammate Brandon Jones. Now it's Kyle that'll get the fender out in front. Now they still stay 2x2x2. High-speed pace lap formation off the corner.
And Bagman, I wondered if the Joe Gibbs Racing cars would have a bit of a deal. Doesn't look like it. Tyler Reddick's going to push Brandon Jones in the outside. Christopher Bell's going to try and side draft. They're going to clear him. Kyle Busch takes the lead and secures it out into 3. Heading towards you, Jeff.
Or side by side, everybody's trying to fight to get to the bottom. Don't want to get hung up on that outside and get an inside line. Just going by, get Brandon Jones on the outside. And he can get in behind his teammate. Go Gibbs Racing first, second, third.
They're all going through a little bit of the speedy dry that was left down. Denny Hamlin had an issue at the end of Cup practice. It's getting blown off the racetrack. But right now, everyone's still chasing Kyle Busch.
He's been able to break away by about 5 car lengths as they race their way through turn number 1. Everybody's singled out now among the top 10. First side-by-side battle right there. That's Justin Haley to the inside of Cole Custer. Here comes Custer around the outside, and they stay side-by-side to the back straightaway.
And this is really going to hurt the momentum. There's Ryan Sieg trying to push Justin Haley. That's really going to give him the momentum he needs to clear Cole Custer. He's going to want to get that done before they get into turn 3, because then Cole Custer can squeeze him. He gets the pass done. Ryan Sieg tries to follow through.
Great ride along here on the state water heaters. Cameron with Swift. Swift going to try to take advantage of these guys side by side. Can he get momentum? Can't get that momentum. Which one will he go with? Will he go in the outside lane or try to push the bottom? On to the outside.
He's got to choose the right line. And right now, Ryan Sieg in that 39, he is drifting back. Side by side into 1, though.
Here they come back into the corner, watching Ryan Sieg in that 39 car, trying to open up the inside lane as they exit their way onto the short straightaway. Further up, battle is for the 6th position right there. That's where Austin Cindric races to the inside, and now flying around the outside, it is the 7 car as they race off 2.
Justin Allgaier there in 5th place is under attack, as you said, from Austin Cindric. He's got a bit of a run here. He had to give up off of turn 2. He's going to stay behind him, just peek that nose down a little bit to get some air to help that car turn and maybe set up for the next lap, Jeff.
Jonathan Himmelstown, that black number 23. He's had a tough year. What would winning at Indy do to recover that, make the year a winning year? He's in good position. He's got to keep the pressure on the 22 and 50.
Justin Allgaier won here a year ago, an emotional win for him because his dad brought him here to the racetrack as a boy. They sat in Team 1, or in Turn 1, and right now Allgaier still trying to make up some spots.
Meanwhile, up front, battle for the lead tightens up. Kyle Busch had pulled away. Christopher Bell and Brandon Jones, his teammates there, closing in and closing up on the battle for the lead.
Bagman, I wondered if Christopher Bell had the speed we watched in practice yesterday. He drove through a pack of cars, although Kyle Busch maybe had the fastest car in single car runs. Look at that run he gets down in turn 3. If he can harness that run and use it correctly, he can make that pass.
And the key for him to do that, see how he's turning earlier than Kyle? He's doing that because he's trying to get air to the nose of his car, plant that car. Kyle Busch making that big entry. He's just worried about speed. Christopher Bell trying to make his car drive good.
Best case scenario, best case scenario for the front 4 is to work together. They're out to a 2-second lead over the 5th place car. Stay in line, try to be efficient through that air.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do right now, Stevie. Tyler Reddick just trying to tack on to that JGR freight train at the front of the field. Reddick trying to get up there and spoil the party just a tad. Further back, Justin Allgaier in the battle for 5th as the leaders all exit turn number 2.
That has got to be a disconcerting feeling there for Justin Allgaier and Austin Cindric to see those 4 break away and drive away from them. It looks like Justin Allgaier's been able to get away a little bit from Austin Cindric as these 3 continue to work together. They just all are sort of lockstep, pointing their noses a little bit further down to get that air, Jeff.
Yeah, how about that car in 4th place, Tyler Reddick? He gets to him, he won't wait. Tyler Reddick is an aggressive race car driver. I know he wants to get away from 5th, but that guy wants track position.
And Jeff, I'll tell you what, I talked to Christopher Bell before the race. He said the car was excellent. But I agree with Steve. I think their best interest is to work together here. Bell may be able to pass Kyle Busch, but if they work together, you can see already the Gibbs cars may be trying to pull away from Tyler Reddick, but the front 4 is certainly pulling away from the rest of the field.
The front 4 exit turn 2 right now, and you're right, Marty. They have left the field in their wake with Reddick now trying to survey his options to see if he can crack that front 3.
I think that's what he's doing, Bagman. He's watching these 3. He knows he can tag along. Now he's thinking, all right, I've got a car to compete with these guys because I've been able to stay with them, not as a teammate. That's pretty impressive car right there.
Yeah, but for him, with all those teammates, he's got to get in the middle of them, right? And if he wants to try to get himself a win this race, it's obviously what he wants to do. You can't ride behind him. He's going to have to start trying to pass him to get in front of those guys.
Tyler Reddick back there in 4th. Let's listen into his radio.
Just a reminder here, as we get closer, you may want to try getting up tighter to the wall down the front and the back to push air off that right rear spoiler. Just a reminder, just like Pocono.
Interesting, just like Pocono. So Tyler Reddick trying to chase down that juggernaut of Joe Gibbs Racing up in front of him the first 3 spots.
And that's interesting, Rick, because, you know, the Indy cars have a theory of getting away from the wall. They go down the racetrack when they go down the straightaways here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But in summer, it's hard to believe in stock cars, you want to be closer to it to get that air off the spoiler. It's interesting aerodynamics.
Yeah, some of it's trial and error, right? You don't really know as you start trying to do different things. So now is a great opportunity. Out front, clean air, just try to do something different to see if you can learn.
Brandon Jones running in that third position has been really excited about the speed that he's had in this car all weekend long. He told me that even his teammate Kyle Busch noticed just how fast he was. Well, just ahead of the race, he said he hoped that he and Kyle could kind of break away from the pack. He said, ideally, I'll get to follow that 18 throughout all of stage one. Well, of course, his other teammate, Christopher Bell, has kind of spoiled that party, but we'll now see what the young Brandon Jones can pick up by following the two teammates ahead of him throughout these opening laps.
And Brandon Jones, the only one right now in the top 8 who's never won in the Xfinity Series, running in that third position. Well, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Brandon Jones, they're making Joe Gibbs Racing look really strong here at Indy. NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can visit NASCAR.com/drive or download the NASCAR mobile app today. Out front, Kyle Busch, he's been the dominant one. 10 laps in the books, he's led all 10. Christopher Bell, Brandon Jones have been right in his tire tracks. And then they haven't been able to shake Tyler Reddick, who's running in that 4th position. But those 4 have now separated themselves by almost 4 seconds over 5th place, Justin Allgaier. A little bit of a close moment for Christopher Bell just moments ago.
He gets a run on the 18 of Kyle Busch right here, kind of turns in underneath him, looking for a little bit of that clean air. It just loses the nose, goes up the racetrack. You see instantly how much the 18 pulls away from him. Listen into the throttle as he drives this corner. You hear him completely out of the gas, and I mean, that's the struggle when you run this much wide open throttle. We have cars on pit road, Dave.
Yes, and unfortunately not a strategy play. Austin said, I have no fuel pressure, but it's still running. That was going around turns 3 and 4. Then he came to pit road. As he came to pit road, it wasn't running at all. So he's reset something, hopefully, and it looks good now.
Justin Haley mentioned how good it was to have his teammate Austin Dillon here running with him as we see the top 3 making their way through the turn.
Christopher Bell still tries to track down Kyle Busch. You know, we watched that replay there where he just turned in a little early, got to that curb. He's doing that to get air, but if you turn in too early, you end up pinching the corner too much, and that's why he most likely got tight. That's the game they're playing here. Get the air and don't turn in too early.
That's good information, though, right? He can start relaying that information to his crew chief. What do I need to do? And Kyle Busch right there got hung up with some lap traffic. Christopher Bell, I don't think he's going to push the issue here, but that's the kind of opportunity these teams, these drivers are going to be looking for. Can you find lap traffic and make a move when somebody's losing their momentum?
Guys, trouble for Austin Dillon off too. That fuel pressure problem is not resolved. He is off the pace, down to the inside of the racetrack as everybody thunders by to his right side.
Yeah, Dillon's crawling along the backstretch there, and so the issue will be if he stops on the track, caution will have to come out.
You can hear it.
You see the leaders go by, putting the 10 another lap down.
The garage.
He's trying to make it to that access road, which is just about 100 yards in front of him, maybe a little less than that now, and he's able to turn off onto the access road, so get off of the racetrack. But if he stops on the access road, they're still going to have to throw the caution to get that car off of the track.
Right, Rick, and he's going really slow here. I mean, I'm looking directly at him. I don't know, unless he can bump it on the starter a little bit, or they're just barely moving. He is moving, though, so we'll see if he's able to get off. He is out of harm's way a little bit.
And the gap still about a car length between 1 and 2. Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell.
They're in turn 2 right now. Bell will get the run, but he can't do anything with it. He has to back away and follow Kyle down the backstretch.
I think at this point he's happy to do that, knowing that he just hasn't taken those runs and done anything with them. He's not really trying to do it. He's just content to ride behind him. They're going to go by the stricken car of Austin Dillon, which is coming to a stop, guys, so I wonder if we're going to get that caution here.
Well, the battle for the lead continues, about a car length and a half still between Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell, and there is that caution. The car has come to a stop for Austin Dillon. He is stuck on the access road, and so he will have to be pushed back to pit road and to the attention of his crew. So the first caution comes out after 16 laps. Again, first stage 30 laps long, so still another 15 to go.
Yeah, we heard the report by Dave. Obviously the 10 had a fuel pressure issue, came to pit road. We saw him change tires, but they didn't really work on the car other than put fuel in it. That definitely didn't resolve their issue. We'll have to see, but now multiple laps down. His teammate right here, Justin Haley, with the leaf filter on board. You said it. So excited to have a teammate in the race. No longer has one.
We hear the cars. They'll run them, turn them off, saving fuel. And that 19, Brandon Jones, running in the 3rd position, Kelly.
Yeah, Rick, too bad he doesn't have the helmet camera on, because Brandon Jones saying that he's got a little bit of smoke at times coming into the cabin. He thinks that he's got a little bit of a tire rub coming from the right front tire. It seems to happen only when the car kind of lands, but the team has looked at pictures of it. They don't see any damage. They don't seem too concerned, but just something to keep our eye on there with the 19.
This track is overall so smooth. You don't see the car move around very much. It travels a little bit more in the corner, but at the speeds they're running down the straightaway, just the air alone pushes the car kind of to its set location. You see right here the tow truck pushing the 10 of Austin Dillon around the access road.
He'll make his way back onto pit road and to the attention of the crew. And will we see guys come to pit road here? Looks like right now Kyle Busch, is he going to fake coming to pit road?
I don't know. I
Will
think
he
he
stay
would
there?
come to pit road. I think this is the window right here. There's 85 laps to go. I think from here you can make it on one more stop. It'll all be how valuable they think tires are. Dillon.
Here's Kyle Busch, the race leader. He said he was on top of the racetrack more than he wanted to be, was sliding all 4 corners, but the rear end handling was the priority. So no chassis adjustments as of yet, just 4 tires and fuel for Kyle Busch. Marty?
Cole Custer is on pit road as well. Comes down, hits his marks perfectly. He said, I really wasn't too tight, but I want to be a little bit freer firing off 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. Marty?
Yeah, we might be having some audio issues with Marty's microphone, so we'll watch Cole Custer come out of his pit in 14.3 seconds. Christopher Bell and Brandon Jones, they stayed out on the racetrack along with quite a few others, so we'll see where the 18 of Kyle Busch will restart.
We're going to go down the strip, do some burnouts. You can do it. Just put her in first and pin it. Good luck. Okay. Is there room for one more?
Yes, get in.
All right, great. I'll get in the back. Go get him, Harv. Is this how you imagined your Burnout Boulevard experience to go, Kyle?
At some point, yes, because I figured our show car would blow up.
Here we go. It's like a tug of war.
That was a Ford versus Chevy battle. Hey, style points though.
Creativity, it's a solid 10.
Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
My tire has come apart.
Do not tear your car up. Whatever you do, go have fun, do a burnout, put on a show, but don't tear your car up. He tore the hell out of it.
And who will be most creative this coming Thursday for that burnout on the Boulevard? That's Thursday at 7 Eastern, live from Las Vegas. Dylan.
Kyle Busch back on pit road. The crew doesn't believe they got the left front wheel nuts tight, so you see them going to work right there to make sure they have those tightened back up. There was some debate about whether they wanted to just leave Kyle out there and risk it. They opted not to do that. They brought him back down just to make sure all four are secure.
It'll be interesting. The three-time winner at this racetrack, can he come from the back and get back up front? Let's go to the Mobile One Peacock pit box. Junior, what have you seen?
Hey, Rick, you know, when we see Kyle Busch in these races, we usually think that he's unbeatable, but I don't know if he's got the best car today. Watching Christopher Bell follow him in this first stage, it appears to me that Christopher Bell's car is actually much better. They're going to have to work on that 18 car, get a little more comfortable for Kyle. But now they're on varying strategies. How's that going to work out for those guys as we get toward the end of this race?
It's going to be interesting, you know. I mentioned that it was inside a fuel window, so the 18 of Kyle Busch is pitted now. There's 82 laps to go right here. So they can run, we'll call it a little over 40, so you can split this up in half, run 40, and then run 40 more. That's going to force him to run as long as possible on both sets of tires. And while, it didn't seem like he had much handling issues as the leader, remember, he had all that great downforce. If he gets back in traffic, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a handful, Dylan. Without that fresh, clean air, we'll see how the 18 handles back here in traffic.
Well, and Steve, that was something that the crew chief, Ben Bayshore, expressed to me this morning. He said they were trying to find that balance of being too trimmed out or not enough, and Ben was concerned they maybe trimmed him too much to move around efficiently in traffic. So we'll see. He's got a lot of traffic ahead of him here on this restart.
You're going to find out right away because he is going to be in heavy traffic.
34 cars on the lead lap. And when you mention traffic, can he negotiate that traffic? He was running well up front, but he had clean air. Now it'll be very dirty air that he'll be fighting through. Field now in the hands of Christopher Bell and Brandon Jones. Christopher Bell on the inside in the 20, Brandon Jones in the 19 on the outside. In the restart zone, and up through the gears they go. A little side drafting, maybe a little pushing taking place here. The two of Tyler Reddick all over the back bumper of Christopher Bell as they go to one.
Christopher Bell getting a huge shove from Reddick, who immediately looks to the bottom of the racetrack, but no room to race. Bell will lead him through one. Reddick and Bell will break free. They're 2 and 3 wide further back. Everybody jostling for position on this restart as the leaders exit turn number 2.
They are. They're starting to get 2 wide there, maybe 3 wide further back in the pack. Austin Cindric side by side with Brandon Jones there in that yellow car. Although Brandon has the help, he's going to slot into third, courtesy of Justin Allgaier as they go side by side further back in the pack.
Great example right there, what someone pushing you can make happen. Allgaier got behind the 19 and just pushed him. Made all that happen. He's side by side here with Nemechek and Burton.
You see the front 4 organized, front 5 organized, but not back here. 2 wide, the 23 of Nemechek, the 9 of Gregson, side by side. And Rick, we saw it the first time the pack went through turns 1 and 2. There's a little bit of a rumble strip, but look right here, one car gets all the way down below the rumble strip and actually is going to catch the grass. While it didn't look like any harm, any foul, I believe that was the 90 right there.
Yep, running back.
Clear
grass.
Up. Yeah. Clear up here if you need it. Clear up. Just up ahead.
You see the grass hit the camera right there. If that grass gets on the grill, we're going to have to see if anyone has overheating issues.
Look at that side draft by John Hunter Nemechek, almost touching Noah Gregson going off to turn 3. Noah's going to get the push from Cole Custer around the outside and clear John Hunter Nemechek.
What an aggressive move by Custer. Normally at this racetrack, you want to make all your passes on the bottom, but Cole Custer taking that outside line, keeping that momentum up. Aggressive move from Custer, only 20 laps into this race.
And Noah Gregson, Jeff, showing how important restarts are here at the Brickyard. He restarted 17th. He's now running 7th after just a couple of laps here back under green. That shows you can gain a lot back, man, when the green flag comes back out.
It's all about how much you can get and how quickly you can get it. Noah Gregson did just that. Right now, as they work their way out too, another driver creeping into the mix. It's Kyle Busch. He is up to the 10th position. Meanwhile, up front, they battle for second.
Justin Allgaier looking to the inside of Brandon Jones there. He's going to be able to clear him down into turn 3. Well-executed pass, can set his sights on the leader, Christopher Bell.
I think Brandon Jones made a smart move. Just let him go right there. Don't try to go side by side and let Tyler Reddick from behind catch up. Now, we haven't talked about Allgaier. Let's see if he can take the fight to Christopher Bell. What kind of speed he has.
And Justin Allgaier now running second, said that at times his car was in a 4-wheel drift, but now saying balance really not too bad as now Brandon Jones goes underneath him to retake second place. But Justin Allgaier and the team talking a little tire strategy as well.
I just think based on the amount of, heat that the tires are getting right now, I don't want to run, that many laps on a set if possible.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they're kind of pinch it, they're having to go all the way to the end of the second stage.
All right, so Steve, you heard that Jason Burdett saying maybe keep these tires on all the way through the end of stage 2.
Yeah, I think really they were referencing the cars that came to pit road. Coming to pit road right there, like Gregson, like Kyle Busch, they're forced to leave that set of tires on as we have a lot of smoke out of the 52. That looks like an engine for David Starr.
Right, Steve, he gets to the access road down on the bottom here. Wow, a lot of smoke out of 52. Definitely major engine issue.
So going back to that conversation with Kelly, it's really, you know, we don't see handling issues like in a normal oval where it's completely out of the gas, but you've seen Gragson drive through the field. He's plus 10 positions. Kyle Busch plus 15. You have to ask yourself, are those new tires, even though everyone's close to wide open, you know, Rick, are they just a little more tighty with the steering wheel? Can they be a little more aggressive? Because apparently the tires are helping. They're moving back through the field.
I heard that it's a game of inches out here, and that's the explosion of the 52. The engine giving way there for David Starr, bringing out the caution for the second time now today. They want to make sure there's no fluid on the racetrack.
Wide open. Hard on the engine all the way around Indianapolis.
David was running 23rd when that engine let go on him. So now Christopher Bell and Brandon Jones will have to do the restart again. Allgaier able to pass Brandon Jones, but then Brandon came right back and took the spot back from him.
Now the decision is, you know, they did not pit under the first yellow. Does this change their plan, change their strategy? 7 laps away from a stage finish. Bell could try to win that and get that important bonus point, that playoff point.
But also they're inside their window to get all the way to the second stage. So if they would come now, they'd have enough fuel, wouldn't they, to be able to make it all the way to stage 2 without actually having to come to pit road at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, I think they were actually in that a stage ago, or a caution ago with Kyle Busch. So I think this actually might fall right into the hands of Kyle Busch. If all these leaders come to pit road, Kyle Busch should cycle back to the front again. We're going to see. You see Bell lead Allgaier, Reddick, Jeff Burton, John Hummer, Nemechek. It's going to be a busy, busy pit road here under the second caution of the day.
And with all the cars making their way onto pit road, let's go to Kelly.
All right, so that's 7 cars of Justin Allgaier among those choosing to pit right here. At times he said the car was too tight, at times in a 4-wheel drift, but overall he actually said it wasn't that bad. 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for Allgaier, Marty.
Christopher Bell coming to the front end of pit road. There you see him in pit stall number 1. So the car was really good, but a little bit free in 1 and 2 if he was going to change anything. You see behind him Tyler Reddick. They're working on the nose. They actually got some grass on the grill of that nose and also a little bit of damage as well. So they're going to tape that up. Reddick having trouble hanging onto those top 3 because of the fact that his car was too loose. And you see that work continuing there on the 2. Everybody pitting here with 6 to go. I would be willing to bet they will not be coming down at the end of the stage here, guys.
And a lot of time being wasted putting that tape on the front of the car, so a difficult situation for them as we watch the lug nuts flying off of the 7 of Justin Allgaier. You can catch all the action of NASCAR on NBC with the NBC Sports app. Get it anywhere, anytime. Just go to NBCSports.com/live. Let's go to Rutledge Wood.
Rick, I thought I was coming up to find a nice peaceful view here atop of the spotter stand. Instead, I have found stress factory #1. So right up here, if we see, guys, you can take a look. We got about 20 spotters on this side, maybe a few more. This is the view we have coming into 3 and 4. But as soon as they pass here, all of these guys come down here like a freight train trying to watch turns 1 and 2. I thought it was going to be nice and easy. It's like roller derby up here, Rick. This is an insane view, what these spotters have to do to help these drivers.
Rutledge, get out of the way then, because you're 10 stories up there at the top of the pagoda, and quite dangerous. Brandon Jones and Austin Cindric now making up row 1. Brandon Jones on the inside of the 19, Cindric on the outside in the 22.
Those two cars have yet to pit all day long. The oldest tires in the field, Rick.
And they're right in front. Green flag coming back out, and it looks as though a good restart for Brandon Jones on the inside, up through the gears the quickest.
He comes into turn #1. He breaks free of the field, quickly changes lanes, and breaks free into the clean air. Now it's the battle for second. Noah Gragson to the inside of Austin Cindric. Although Cindric in the 22 will get the advantage, he'll go to second. And now the side-by-side battle for third is on.
And now it's up to Kyle Busch. Does he push Noah Gragson, or does Chase Briscoe push his teammate there, Cole Custer, better? Who pushes better will win this battle. It looks like Kyle Busch giving the bumper a little bit to Noah Gragson. Backs off into 3 smartly. Noah Gragson gets position.
Now trying to keep that momentum all turn 3 underneath Cole Custer. Does not clear Cole Custer. How can Cole stand his light? Good job staying even with him. Now it's a matter of who's going to go with him. His teammate is behind Cole Custer. Should give him a good push into 1.
Trying to side draft a little bit there is Kyle Busch. He can't make it happen. Now Cole Custer has help from behind.
Racing back into turn 1. Cole Custer has the advantage at corner entry, but here comes Kyle Busch to the inside of the racetrack. This is the side-by-side battle for 4th. Kyle Busch makes short work that is, of Custer, and he will grab the 4th spot and force Custer back to 5th.
That he does. Well executed pass. Justin Haley slots ahead of Chase Briscoe there, sets his sights on Cole Custer. We see more jockeying back in the pack there. Christopher Bell putting it 3 wide with John Hunter Nemechek. Jeremy Clemens through the center to get that pass done. Hopefully he can clear John Hunter. He does not off of 3.
Fortunately for him, he did get by John Hunter Nemechek. They would have got really slow. Here's the 2 of Reddick after all that work. On pit road making a move, and then on the very bottom of the racetrack, impressive move.
Marty.
Well, guys, a lot happening for Tyler Reddick. We saw them on pit road fixing the nose. That actually came from contact on the restart before with Christopher Bell. He was pushing him and close to a battle for the lead there. He was pushing Bell. Bell checked up, did damage to the 2 nose. What happens when you're fixing damage, Steve? Sometimes too many men go over the wall, right? Well, they had that penalty called for them. They are now showing video to a NASCAR official to protest that call, to say, hey, we'll show you the video. We didn't have too many men over the wall. So they are now showing that video, Steve, to the official. Not sure if Randall Burnett is going to win his protest, but they're trying.
I give him an A for effort, and if he wins, he should let me know how he did it, because I'm O for a bunch in my career. I never won a protest.
And normally that's a computer-generated foul there. The computers have cameras that are watching that, and they will count the amount of people that go over. And if you have too many, it shows up in red.
Yeah, the battle on the last lap here of the stage, Bagley, for the lead in front of you.
Brandon Jones has got his hands full right now, Stevie. He's got them stacked up at the back door. He's got Austin Cindric there. He's got Noah Gragson, Kyle Busch, and Cole Custer. So far, so good for Jones. Matter of fact, he'll pull out by maybe 2 car lengths.
Oh, the 39 goes around. Ryan Sieg around it in the grass.
He's in trouble here in turn number 2. He's been making some aggressive moves in this stage. And right now, that car will spin to the inside. Will quickly back it up, pull away as they come to the end of stage number 1.
No caution there. Kyle Busch gets the 3rd place around Noah Gragson. Austin Cindric not able to get the run on Brandon Jones.
The hard charge by Kyle Busch. Pretty impressive run back, but the 2 guys with the oldest tires are going to be able to hold on to the 1st and 2nd spots. Brandon Jones is coming to the yard of bricks. He will win stage 1.
Brandon Jones, segment winner.
So Jones getting his 3rd stage win of 2019. Austin Cindric comes back in 2nd. Kyle Busch. What a run we saw out of Kyle Busch get up to third.
A great run, but more importantly than the stage win is that playoff point. Only in 2 weeks, Brandon Jones will find himself at the playoff. We see Ryan Sieg at the 39 pulling away. We saw him spin down in the grass. It looks like just a little high, Rick. Loses it all on his own, loses rear grip, does a nice job jumping in the gas, staying off the outside wall. Doesn't look like any damage on the 39.
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR, perfect for race fans. Stage 1 completes of the Indiana 250. Cars on their way to pit road. We'll go first to Kelly.
So Brandon Jones wins stage 1 and picks up a valuable playoff point. He said his 19 car really tightened up during that run, especially coming off turn 2. He felt like that's where he was losing the most time. They're going to give him 4 fresh Goodyear tires with an air pressure adjustment, Sunoco fuel. Austin Cindric in that 22 car, really pretty happy with this car overall. He just said he simply could get to the 19 car, but couldn't pass him. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, add a little tape to the grill, Dave.
Crew Chief Mike Shiplet told his driver Cole Custer, you bring it, we'll fix it. In that condition, a little tough to turn, so they made a wedge adjustment in the car, 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel.
Good little run off of pit road there, and it will be Kyle Busch who'll be up front. He didn't come to pit road. The official app of NASCAR puts race coverage and in-car cameras right at your fingertips. You can unlock the premium content today with a free trial. Get access to driver and team radio communication. Search NASCAR in your app store or visit NASCAR.com/mobile.
On board with Cole Custer right there.
Yes, we were. Let's go up to the Mobil 1 Peacock pit box where Dale Earnhardt Jr. is hanging out under that nice tent.
Yeah, guys, we know as this race goes into the final stage, there's likely to be some cycles on these final set of tires that these guys will have on the car. And we had a few cautions in this first stage. We had a few guys that their cars were affected poorly and improved by those cycles. So I hope that these drivers are communicating with their crew chiefs about what the cycles are doing to their cars when these cautions do come out, so they can stay ahead of the adjustments to improve their car for that final stage.
Dale, one of those things that I noticed down here on pit road is we always know how important the pit crews are, but on a day like today, when you're only in a track once a year, it seems like they're way more crucial. Steve, I'm wondering, from a crew chief, we saw the 18 car have a problem that they normally wouldn't, missing a couple lug nuts, but for a team like Jeremy Clements, this seems like an opportunity where if they're flawless, they know it might make a huge impact for how this day shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 100-lap race, so we expect most of these guys to make only 2 pit stops. Twice to come down pit road, maybe 3 times at the most. So with the reduced number of pit stops, you just can't make mistakes, so hard to recover from. And one thing interesting here at Indianapolis is the pit road is narrow, but it's so long. Very important for the driver to hit the sign. You could be 6, 8, 10 feet short or 10 feet long and still be in your box. Makes it very difficult to do pit stops.
And Marty, we've got Noah Gragson who's going to start beside Kyle Busch. Will he have anything for Kyle Busch in this restart?
We're gonna find out, aren't we, Rick? And the team's already talking about that final stop of the day. Here's what Dave Ellens told Noah Gragson a moment ago.
If this thing, there's a lot of scenarios that can play out before we get to this, but to get to our next window, the end of the stage, we're right on our number, so don't worry about saving under green, just under yellow.
So interesting there, Steve. Some may go to the end of the stage, but there's a theory you could pit with 2 or 3 to go in this stage and make it to the end of the race in the last stop of the day.
Yeah, give away those stage points, but try to get that track position. Clean up one other little thing. You see outside the 3rd row right there, the number 2 of Tyler Reddick. A lot of conversation of whether they had too many guys during the repair. NASCAR reviewed the video. They said, indeed, their opinion is they had too many. They're the sanction body. But they also looked back and said, well, you started the tail of the field, and that was the penalty. So regardless, we feel like even if you had too many, the penalty was already served, so he gets to hold his position.
Will Noah Gragson have anything for Kyle Busch as we get ready to kick off stage 2? And green flag back in the air. 2 by 2, they go down the front stretch. Gragson right on the inside of that 18.
Trying to hang with him, gets a fender out in front in turn 1, but here comes Kyle flying back around the outside. Very tight formation, and they make contact in turn 2. Bell goes up the racetrack. 3 wide, bouncing off each other, and smoke off the right front of Bell as he entered the corner.
How did they get away with that? Bell's going to pay the price all the way down the backstretch. He's now getting put 3 wide. Tyler Reddick in the center. Get a little push there for Brandon Brown. Jeff Burton all the way in the bottom. He's able to clear those cars and get away with it. That was very close. Oh, we got trouble here.
All the way around goes the 86. Brandon Brown around and into the wall. And the caution will come out again. This actually is probably going to be a big break for the 20 and the 9 because there was contact between those two. We saw the 2 of Tyler Reddick trying to check to see if he had a flat tire down the backstretch.
Yeah, what a save by the 20 of Christopher Bell. You're going to see right here at the bottom of your screen. He thinks he can get in behind the 9. The 9 comes up. There's contact between the right rear and the left front. I thought for sure the 20 was going around. This puts him 3 wide. Then there's contact between Jeff Burton. This is going to be another great look at it right here. On board with the 20. Look at this.
Bottom covered, 1 off you, your lane.
Man, up the track he goes. And then you mentioned the 2 moving his car around down the backstretch. I think he had some contact, thought he might have a left rear tire down. That was all going down the back straightaway. And then when we got to the other end of the racetrack, the 86 of Brandon Brown got turned around, restarted 10th, making his first start here at Indy. It was for the 86. Not going to feel good about that finish. You see the damage to the left front fender.
Yeah, so
there was a lot going on in one lap. What a save,
Steve,
though.
are we going to see the 20 come to pit road? As we see the 86 is on pit road, we knew he would have to come.
Yeah, so here he is right here. He's basically by himself. Just turns in from the top lane. Probably a little higher than he's entered all day long. He'd been probably running the bottom. And, you know, here at Indianapolis, that second lane could be a little bit lower on grip. Let's go on board. Christopher Bell, get his vantage point from this whole situation. You see,
I don't know what the
it's out the rear bumper. Nice big push by the 86, and then he turns in.
Clear.
Just free, just spins around on him.
Around he went into the wall. And again, that brings out the 4th caution of the day.
Cole Custer had to be nerve-wracking for him, right behind the 86. You asked about the 20 and the damage. I think if it was me, I wouldn't want to pit. So I'd be working the car left to right to see if there's a tire up. Apparently here they feel it's, you know, more than enough damage. Listen, there's no one with more experience than Jason Ratcliffe when it comes to crew chief in the Xfinity Series. Tons of wins, tons of experience, worked with all the big names at Joe Gibbs Racing. He's going to call the 20 to pit road, Marty.
Yeah, and that experience certainly coming into play here. He kind of debated on the radio where he said, did you lock up your tires? Bell felt like he did not, but Radcliffe is playing the safe route here, thinking that maybe he did lock up the tires because the right front and the left front smoked a little bit. So just to be safe, they're going to bring him down pit road here. They're also going to check that left front damage that you guys pointed out a moment ago. So 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and I'm looking at the left front. Doesn't look that bad. Just in front of the Goodyear there on the left front, it is crinkled in a little bit, and you see they're going to hammer it out right there, but that's really the only spot for Christopher Bell where he does have a bit of damage. He'll have 4 fresh Goodyear tires. We'll see if he can get his way back through the field. He was running 4th when he came down pit road, guys.
That composite fender, like a little piece of Tupperware, just popped right back out, good as new. I'm actually on the crew chief side. I know all the drivers are surprised. I think the right front tire of the 20 looked like it locked up for just a second as well. I don't know if it damaged the tire, but look at the, oh, this is the 86 spinning around right now. I think that right front tire of the 20 did lock up.
Still 22 laps to go in stage 2 of the Indiana 250. And Steve, we saw the 20 when that initial contact was made. We saw some smoke come out of both sides.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You expect the left front to smoke. That's where the contact is. Second car in line on the outside is Christopher Bell. But look at the right front corner. I can't tell if the tire locks up itself, but the contact is going to be initiated here. And then when it comes into view, the right front has some smoke coming out of it as well. What I don't know, this is going to sound silly, was the tire sliding? Or with all the aero things that these teams and NASCAR has with the ducts in the front, is that really just taking the smoke from the left front and pushing it out the right front? I don't know. Either way, they've come to pit road, changed tires. I'm kind of with Jason Ratcliffe. You have such a great car. You think you should easily be able to drive up inside of the top 10. There's over 60 laps to go in the race. Good decision to bring him to pit road, get all buttoned up.
And you mentioned the composite body. They popped that out, and it looks like there was no damage at all to that left front. We'll have the restart when we come back.
Welcome back to the Brickyard, where tomorrow 400 miles of action for the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series and the cutoff race. Who is going to make it to the playoffs? You'll know tomorrow, tuning in on NBC. So before they get back to green here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, what are some of the drivers thinking? Well, Justin Haley is praised by his team for taking care of the equipment, but he was just told by his crew chief, Alex Jans, don't give up any positions to anybody. How in the world do you do both? Justin's going to try to figure it out. Dylan?
Well, hey, Dave, it's been another day at the office for Kyle Busch after that secondary pit stop he had to make for the loose wheel. He's driven his way back up through the field to the race lead. Nothing said on the radio. Kyle just going to work. Kelly?
Justin Allgaier scored 5 race wins last year, still looking for his first of 2019. And as we see varying strategies play up, he'll restart on the front row, see if he can take the race lead away from Kyle Busch, Marty.
You want to watch a fun show on this restart, Kelly? Watch Christopher Bell. He restarts 26 with 4 fresh Goodyear tires. I can't wait for this one, Rick.
We will see if he is able to quickly move back up through the field. This time it's Kyle Busch on the inside leading the field with Justin Allgaier on the outside. As they come across the yard of bricks, a great restart once again for Kyle Busch, and he has some help this time behind him. Noah Gragson pushes him into one.
Shoves him back into the corner and into the clean air. Kyle Busch back to the lead. Noah Gragson will slip through and slide under his teammate Justin Allgaier. Gragson will go to second, and the challenge is on for third. Here is John Hunter Nemechek racing to the inside off turn 2.
I'm telling you, the guy I want on my bumper late in this race pushing is Noah Gragson. He has been great at this in this race. Though Jeb Burton thinks better of going 3 wide. Justin Haley to the inside there. Can he clear John Hunter Nemechek? He will, just coming off 3.
Great shot right here. You can see all the battles all over the racetrack on this restart. Jeb Burton clearing Nemechek. Austin Cindric trying to make that move as well.
And as they battle to try to get single file, you see the moves, but when they do get side by side, it does slow the cars down. So as the leaders start to kind of edge away, everyone else tries to get in line to run down Kyle Busch, the 9 and the 7.
3-car breakaway for the lead, racing back into turns 1 and 2. You got Kyle Busch in the 18, you got Noah Gragson in the 9, and you got Justin Allgaier in the 7. They have left 4th place Justin Haley by a half a second.
And earlier in the race, it was 3 Joe Gibbs teammates up front that Kyle Busch was working with. I'll see if those Junior Motorsports guys are able to work together to get by him. On board here of Cole Custer. Just look at the draft there. He doesn't have the ability to go outside. He'll concede that position to Tyler Reddick in the 2.
You see, lost some momentum, and there Austin Cindric in that bright yellow 22 car trying to take advantage of it. Just couldn't make it stick on the exit of turn 3. Just cannot quite get the running easy alongside him.
And Jeff, it's been an eventful 42 laps here at Indianapolis, and here's what Tyler Reddick has thought of the race so far today.
All right, hopefully we've got the rest of all this chaos out of the way here, and we can save the rest for at the end of the race when we're going for the win.
You know, it seems like the more chaotic the race, the higher the chances of winning the cup. So, you know, it's fine by me.
Randall's going to have a full gray hair by the end of the season.
And he's going to have more gray hair. He got into the wall right in front of you, Bagman, a moment ago, heading towards you, Parker.
Wow, he got very loose there. Now it's set up huge run for Chase Briscoe. Austin Cindric chooses to push him down into turn 3 instead of diving to the inside. We've got a replay here of Tyler Reddick as he goes off into turn 2, touches the wall there behind John Hunter Nemechek. This track is so hard to see where you're at because of that basically sealant that was put down. But there he is now riding behind John Hunter Nemechek.
That was odd though, Rick. He was following in line and he just moved to the right. There was no room there. Everyone was high as they could be.
It was in the short chute too. I mean, it was in between turns 1 and 2 when he got into the wall.
And guys, he's been a little bit frustrated behind the 23 as we see a pass for second. There goes Justin Allgaier around his teammate Noah Gragson. But in the case of the 2, he's getting a little frustrated with John Hunter Nemechek because he feels like he's a little bit quicker. So he's trying to set up a better angle to get the pass off of 2. That's at least a theory, Parker.
Right, and it just didn't work. He went too high there. As I said, it's just tough to figure out where you're at on this racetrack. But now you've got a lot of traffic. He moves down to block Austin Cindric and has a 5-6 car train heading toward turn 4.
Yeah, what a good race right here. These guys are going at it. You can see that white red car back there next to last in this groove, how he was trying to turn a little bit early, get a little bit of air on the nose, but that just slowed him down and be able to get the exit run.
Again, that's Michael Annett in the 1, and he had to do some repair to the back of that car. The back of the car came off. He had some contact with Mike Harmon in practice yesterday.
Michael Annett running along in the 12th position right now, and he is the meat in a sandwich, facing a challenge at the back door from Christopher Bell. Bell looked low in the short chute, couldn't get the work done. Let's see if C-Bell can make the move down the back straightaway.
I don't think he'll quite have the momentum there. You give it up if you put your nose there. You see Brandon Jones trying to go the outside of Cole Custer. Uses the side draft. Just about able to clear him through turn 3. Now that is a power move. We know those Joe Gibbs cars are strong.
That is a crazy power move. And the confidence of Brandon Jones to jump up on the outside and make that move. I'm impressed with that. Let's see how much further he can get himself. Remember, he pitted, and that got him back behind the field. Now he's trying to work himself back up to the front.
Michael Annett in the 1.
Oh,
and
big block.
Help now from Christopher Bell. You call it a block, I call it help. As we go to 1.
Michael Annett will bust a move to the inside of the racetrack. He'll bring Christopher Bell along for the ride. They're racing for a position right now just outside of the top 10. Let's see what C-Bell can do this time. Annett now 1 car length in front of him off the corner.
And that's just going to anger you as a driver. When someone moves down and block jake that, when you have such a big run, you're seeing the run he's got. He peeks the inside, he doesn't quite have the momentum. Michael Annett's going to give it to him. Probably the smart move there.
I'd say a really smart move. Clearly, Michael Annett, an aggressive block. Once Bell got underneath him, give the position up. And you see behind Bell, battle going on. And Christopher Bell's brought himself up to 11th place here, guys.
All right, you called it help. I called it a block. Let's take another look at it. Christopher Bell gets a run off turn 4. Gets this run. The 1 is at the bottom of the racetrack. The 20 goes down. Not the push, but I think to pass him. And the 1 kind of runs him down. I'll give you 50-50. It was help that turned into. This would be a good view right here. All on board. He's thinking pass. Annett knows he's thinking pass. So it's real simple. Annett said, hey, he's coming to help me. Christopher Bell said, I'm coming to pass you.
Yeah,
we disagreed, and so did they.
But in the end, now the 20 of Christopher Bell is ahead of Michael Annett. So Christopher Bell to 11.
How about this 7 of Justin Allgaier has closed in all the way to the rear bumper, the 18 of Kyle Busch. These guys have separated themselves from the 3rd place car, Noah Gragson, by a little over 2.5 seconds. The winner last year, the 7, Justin Allgaier, so many wins a year ago, winless in 2019. 5 wins to 0 wins. Think of the momentum winning at the Brickyard could provide for this 7 car heading into the playoffs.
And again, there are only 2 that are entered in this race that have won in the Xfinity Series at Indianapolis, and they're running 1 and 2 right now as we go NASCAR nonstop. And things are heating up front. The top two have separated themselves now by 5 seconds, but Kyle Busch and Justin Allgaier, less than a car length between the top two.
7 did a nice job working his way through traffic, got by his teammate. As soon as he did, he ran the 18 down. This 7 car is very, very good. You see, as you mentioned, 6 seconds back to Jeb Burton in the 3rd position. The big question I have now, though, is closing in on 9 laps to go in this stage. I believe we're going to see at least the 18 of Kyle Busch, who was last on pit road at lap 18, perhaps pit before the end of the stage, Marty.
Yeah, see, they don't have to worry about points, right? They're not running for a championship. Kyle Busch is not in the Xfinity Series. Meanwhile, Justin Allgaier would love one more playoff point by winning this stage. So that's the gamble, Steve. You can pit here with 3 to go, or if you're Kyle Busch with 2 to go, because he can obviously beat them closing to pit road lane. But, you know, if you do that with 2 to go, you can make it to the end of the race. You'll have all the track position after the end of stage 2.
So on the left side, you see in the last pit lap, Kyle Busch was 18, Allgaier, Burton a little bit later. Gregson all the way back at lap 16. Haley as well at 16. So I think they're almost forced to pit before the end of the stage. They'll still be fine to make it to the end of the race, but they will give up those points that are awarded at the end of the stage. And they shouldn't lose a lap as long as they're efficient. I'm a little concerned about Haley. Haley's back there 8 seconds behind the leader, so if Allgaier stays out, it will be close to see if Haley loses a lap.
Leaders come back into turn 1. It's that 2-car breakaway we've been showing you with Kyle Busch and Justin Allgaier, but what about the battling further back there? Everyone's all stacked up, and here's a challenge for the lead. Allgaier to the inside of the racetrack. He'll bypass Kyle Busch, and not only pass him, but he'll pull away from him by 4 car lengths.
Bagman, I wondered how long he'd be content just riding back there. He caught Kyle Busch at almost 4/10 a lap, catching him, then just rode there at the same speed, showing that speed and the muscle in that 7 car, getting by and driving away from Kyle Busch.
Yeah, winless this year, the 7 car of Allgaier, but where was his last win? Right here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So Justin Allgaier, once he got by him, he is driving away from Kyle Busch. Right here, just turned underneath him, made it look easy.
And I'm almost wondering if that wasn't because Kyle Busch knows he's going to come to pit road prior to the end of this stage, so might as well let him go by him because he didn't want to fight him or have any possibility of contact.
Yeah, he's the older tires. It probably assumes the 7's better. So, like you said, he knows he has to pit. Go ahead and let the 7 by. And to Jeff's point, once the 7 got clear, his lap time that last time by, almost 3/4 of a second faster than Kyle Busch.
I spoke to his crew chief, Jason Burdett, yesterday after practice. Asked him, what do you think about this car? He said, it's pretty good. I said, as good as last year's? He said, close. I'd say this thing is looking pretty good right now. They have definitely got that 7 car tuned up.
Yeah, I'm just really impressed he's able to drive away from Kyle Busch right now. And they've driven away from 3rd place. Jeb Burton leading that pack. Limited runs, but he is running 3rd, but he's still about 3/4 of a second off of what Justin Allgaier can run. So that shows you how fast that 7 car is.
Well, crew chief Jason Burdett might have been playing a little bit coy when talking about his 7 car and the speed in it, because when I talked to Justin Allgaier today, you could really see and sense the confidence that he had. He said they had a lot of speed. He thought the biggest challenge would be keeping up with the track. He was expecting it to go through a lot of changes. It's a warmer day today. There is going to be more cup rubber laid down. Well, so far, they've been able to get a good handling on the balance of this race car, Dylan.
And Kelly, we see Justin Allgaier's driven away from Kyle Busch. That's because Kyle said he is way, way, way too tight. So that's come on here just over the course of the last few laps. So the crew is down here getting ready, but not real urgently. So it looks like they may try and stretch this to the end of stage 2. They've got about 5 laps left to do that. Behind Kyle, running 3rd, a good run for Jeb Burton in the 8 car for Junior Motorsports. Crew chief Taylor Moyer mentioned to me this morning, he said they gave up some qualifying speed, they felt like, to try and make sure that they were going to race well today. They've done that. Of course, they have a successful history here, the team does, with this package, so they're putting together a good showing right now. But Jeb came on the radio a bit ago, said he feels like he's got a really bad vibration. Maybe all the tires are corded, so we'll keep an eye on that with the 8 car.
Leaders come back into turns 1 and 2. The front 2 have already checked out, but Tyler Reddick, he's running right now in the 4th position, and he's getting a full court press from Austin Cindric in the 22. They bypass some lap traffic, fly around the outside, and for now, Reddick is able to get some real estate between himself and Cindric.
Noah Gregson there falling back. He's as high as basically 3rd place here in just a little bit ago. Jeb Burton got by him. He's been passed by Reddick. Cindric, he's now got Christopher Bell to the inside. That 9 car is not handling well, and he is going backwards in a hurry.
Yeah, not happy with his car at all. Brandon Jones, you see him clear and making that pass right now. Noah getting back to the bottom of the racetrack, and still you see Justin Haley making a charge to him, coming on the front straightaway.
We know that Kyle Busch, we know that Noah Gragson, and the third car, Justin Haley, all will have to be coming to pit road probably before the end of this stage, so maybe setting up for that with under 4 laps to go.
Noah Gragson right now has got his hands full. Justin Haley all over it. Haley looking low off one. Can't find the real estate he needs to make the move. But as Noah Gragson now starts to drop anchor, he's falling back into the clutches of Justin Haley and Chase Briscoe and 2 others there as well.
And that really hurt Justin Haley's momentum, but some of the moves I'm seeing there on Noah just look a little desperate as we go on board. Justin Haley looking back at Chase Briscoe. Oh, another block. Chase Briscoe tricks him, moves to the bottom of Justin Haley. Can he complete it? Oh, very close. They're side by side.
Yeah, right now, if you're the 0-0 Cole Country, you almost want to back up a little bit, give these guys some room, get a run on them coming off the corner. Instead, he just keeps the pressure on. Now he's going to try to push his teammate past that 11.
Well, the problem for Noah Gragson, as you just mentioned, we see on the left-hand side, you see Pitt next to Cindric. He's coming to pit road. Gregson's lost so much time, I don't think he can pit and not lose a lap. Justin Allgaier is so fast on the racetrack that Gragson might actually be losing time by trying to save fuel to make it to the end of the stage. Kelly.
We've talked about these varying strategies here. You see Austin Cindric in that bright yellow 22 car making his way to pit road. He's really been pretty quiet on the radio. He's in a big pack there just before hitting pit road. It's 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for Austin Cindric.
I like this call by Austin Cindric. When the caution comes out for the stage, we'll have everybody on pit road. That'll get us with track position. So we'll see if anyone joins them.
We would expect to see
nobody
18 of Kyle Busch come to pit road,
Well,
though.
pit road's closed now. The leader's gone by to take 2 to go. Pit road's
2 to go,
closed.
yep.
Yeah, so everyone is going to have to stay on the racetrack. The only driver to have an aggressive strategy, Austin Cindric. Little surprise. I'm with you, Rick. What does the Kyle Busch and the 18 have to lose? I thought for sure they would have pitted a lap ago.
They could have stayed out on the racetrack and made it all the way to the end and then got that track position, but they have chose to stay on the racetrack, still running right behind Justin Allgaier, who now has a 2.3-second lead over Kyle Busch. There's Allgaier, and there's the gap back to that 18 of Kyle Busch. Cindric has gone a lap down. You mentioned that. That could be an issue if you come to pit road.
I knew it was going to be close. I thought you had to be about 8 seconds. Cindric was right around that window, but that's the risk you take. I don't know if it was slow on pit road. I don't know if maybe the math just didn't work out, but the 22 of Austin Cindric, it's a great strategy if your math works. But right here, the 22 losing a lap ruins the whole plan, and it's really because of the speed of Justin Allgaier that that's happening.
Allgaier a blistering speed right now and pace that he's putting around the racetrack. So Cindric could have been in the position to get the free pass when the caution comes out, but now it looks as though the 5 of Mills might be in that position. Oh, he's going by him. So that pass could have put him into position to get the free pass, at least for Austin Cindric.
Yeah, so he'll get his lap back, but he was running inside the top 10. So what turns out to be a strategy gamble is now a strategy mistake on top of the pit box. It'll cost the 22 some track position.
What a run for Justin Allgaier as he will come back to the yard of bricks, and it's going to be Allgaier winning stage 2. Steve, you mentioned it, the last time that he won a race was right here at this racetrack 1 year ago. So hoping to rekindle that momentum. Kyle Busch finishes second. Tyler Reddick, after his issues, comes home third. Jeb Burton with the fairly good run already in the first 2 stages was fourth, and Brandon Jones rounds out the top 5. Justin Allgaier now has 5 playoff points with that one that he just earned there. The Riverton, Illinois native looking to complete it and potentially see another checkered flag here at Indianapolis.
Back at Indianapolis, pit stops underway at the end of stage 2. A big swing for Kyle Busch to combat that tight condition. 4 tires, air pressure, tape, and a track bar adjustment. Jeff Burton in as well. He started 2 free, ended that run 2 tight. They're going to change 4 tires, fuel, and an air pressure adjustment as well. Kelly?
Justin Allgaier in that blue number 7 picked up stage win number 5. Had a little vibration. They're not worried about it. 4 tires and fuel, Marty.
We saw Tyler Reddick hit the wall, and he said to the crew, man, I hit the wall really hard when I did hit it. They said the body's fine. Don't worry about that. Too tight in traffic for him. Justin Allgaier comes in with the lead. He leaves with the lead.
All 4 of the top 4 holding position. And then Bell making up a spot. Briscoe as well. Brendan Jones loses 2. We'll be back for the restart after this. Getting ready for the final stage of the Indiana 250 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Xfinity Series. Coming up on Wednesday, Bagman, you've got a special guest. Yeah. Steve Letarte gets to join you once again.
Always a fun time when Stevie is able to join us. And of course, he joined me for a 4-hour stint there last week and had a blast talking to the fans. And now we get our weekly 15-minute segment on Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern on your home for NASCAR satellite radio-wise.
I wonder, could I fill in for you? Would it be possible if I jumped in on Wednesday?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm surprised after the 4 hours they let me back on at all. To be quite honest.
Oh, it's always a lot of fun. Junior.
Yeah, Rick, pretty impressive first stage for the 20 car of Christopher Bell. I was really surprised by how well he was able to hang on to the back of that 18 car, and it didn't look like Kyle Busch's car was handling as well as he'd hoped, and we kind of saw the results of that in stage 2 as a 7 of Allgaier went by late in that stage. Allgaier's car looks the best, but is that team making the changes as this track changes throughout the afternoon? We get into this last stage and the track tightens up. Will they make the adjustments to keep the speed in that 7 car? Christopher Bell's worked his way back into the top 5. He's still a factor in this race as well, and there's always Kyle Busch. Rut, what you got?
Dale, I know you got a great view, but out here in turn 2 on the inside of the track, I found this incredible berm where there are tons of fans out here hanging out. We got a family throwing the baseball. I'm up here at the top of the track, and the view you get is so good. It's the kind of view that you'd bring your entire family here from Carmel, Indiana to check it out. But you get to see all of this, and it comes by, and there are some South Carolina Gamecock fans here. They've been pretty well behaved, but a lot of us know that that's not always a long-term possibility. But we even have a huge screen back here to watch. This is an incredible view. Dale's got a good one. Rick, y'all's is maybe the best around.
It's pretty good. Yeah, we've got a pretty good vantage point. I think the Mobile One Peacock Pit Box has a pretty good vantage point there with the screens as well as being right on pit road.
Oh, I was there for Xfinity Series qualifying. So much fun. So much fun, although I will say the 9th floor of the pagoda, I could see a whole lot of this racetrack.
So we saw earlier the 2 fingers going out for Kyle Busch, letting Justin Allgaier know, yeah, you can go to the inside here. Allgaier thanking him with 2 fingers out the window. I'm guessing that kindness is out the window now as they're going to line up side by side and dive into turn one?
I think that's completely fair. Jeff Burton and I were having this conversation under the commercial. Jeff, it seems like I'm not sure if I gave tires the value that perhaps they need in the Xfinity Series race. We talk a lot about strategy, track position here in Indianapolis, but every time I see a car with fresher tires on a decent car, he's able to move through through traffic.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think tires have mattered. The question is, how much track position can you give up in order to take advantage of those tires? And we'll see. Will somebody pit here later in this stage? It'll be interesting to see if the caution comes out, what people do.
Can't wait to get back under this green flag. I think you bring up a good point. You know, there's a lot of gentlemanly type racing going on in the first part. But now we get towards the end of this race. Now the gloves come off. Who can make the right moves at the right time? You know, it's always a case of, give and take, but at some point in the race it turns into grab and go. Parker?
Right, Bagman, but my question is, who's the best pusher there? You have Jeff Burton in a limited schedule this year, and you have Tyler Reddick, who damaged the front of his car, potentially pushing earlier in the race. Which one of those two is going to push one of those leaders the best? I think that's the car they'll take the lead off to.
Rick, my concern for the inside row is the third car in line, Christopher Bell. Push nothing. He's going to want to be out of line moving forward himself. That might hurt the momentum.
2x2 once again. They come up for the start of the third and final stage from Indianapolis. Tyler Reddick stays right on the bumper. With the 7 of Justin Allgaier, a great restart for Allgaier.
Allgaier gets out into the clean air, at least for a moment, and they bobble coming into one. Allgaier slips, and that opens up the outside for Kyle Busch. Around the outside, let's see if Allgaier can regroup. He digs hard to the inside. They're side by side for the lead. Allgaier just trying to hang on to this top spot.
I said you wanted a pusher, but not there in the corner. That just doesn't work. Allgaier using the side draft there. Tyler Reddick, big run from Christopher Bell, getting pushed, swirling around. Busch is going to take the lead over Justin Allgaier.
Jeff Burton on the outside of Allgaier in turn 4. He did a great job of pushing Kyle Busch. Clears Justin Allgaier. Now he's taking over second place. Justin's not done with the fight, though. Now, what will they do behind him?
Big run for the 7. Can Allgaier clear him? He's getting pushed from behind. The back end squirrely on that 7 as they go back into 1.
Reddick's getting antsy back there in that third spot, trying to give Allgaier the heave-ho back into the corner. They've got to get in line if they want to track down Kyle Busch. They'll do it among the front 5, front 6 cars as they race their way off the corner. Kyle Busch leads now by 4 car lengths over Allgaier and a string of cars trying to track him down.
The aggression meter is going up here. We're 3 wide. We're seeing drivers bump draft all the way down into the corners. There's Justin Haley pushing Michael Annette the best he can. They're trying to clear those cars the outside. They're getting aggressive to get that track position.
Almost 3 wide getting to turn 3. That was not going to work out. Wise choice to back out of it, get back 2 wide. That cost Cole Custer, but had he not done it, he would have been in the wall.
Well, as we see the racing back there, the lead has tightened up. Justin Allgaier in that blue 7 has pulled up right to the rear bumper of Kyle Busch. Tyler Reddick behind him. Christopher Bell in 4th.
Tyler Reddick now in the 3rd position. You see him in the 2. He's trying to give Allgaier a little shove. Allgaier doesn't need it. Here comes Allgaier to the inside. They'll open up the inside lane in turn 2, slide underneath Kyle Busch, and go back to the lead here in the Brickyard.
That was an identical pass to the one he did in stage 2. That 7 car is strong. As you saw, the 18 lost the rear there, went up the track. He's going to try to fight back to the inside side draft, Justin Allgaier. He's going to clear him down to turn 3. What a battle between these two.
Justin Allgaier is trying to cross him over. He knows right now the 18 is loose. He knows that's where he can beat him. He's got to just be a little patient here, get a good run, and actually try to push, almost push the 18 into turn 1. Get him loose again, drive underneath him.
Keep your eye on the 2 of Tyler Reddick, who's running 3rd right now as these guys go side by side fighting for the lead. That has closed the gap for the 2 of Tyler Reddick.
They race back to the corner. The 18 of Kyle Busch, the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Here comes Allgaier again, trying to squeeze to the inside. Not going to be able to do it. It's Busch, it's Allgaier and Reddick. 1, 2, and 3. Busch slips off 2. Here comes Allgaier to the bottom for the lead.
You can see how much Kyle Busch is struggling in the rear end of that race car. They played that all in practice, trying to get it in the track. Tyler Reddick's going to push him here to get back at the 7 of Justin Allgaier. He's not going to have the run. He'll have to wait another lap, but Kyle Busch hanging on in that 18 car.
Kyle Busch is hanging on, but is that the plan? Remember on that long run earlier, he got way too tight. So can Kyle Busch, can his experience, can his will get him by right now, being way too loose, but then later in this run, it may come to him and he can take advantage of it.
Well, one thing the battle for the lead has done is closed up the 5 cars up front. As you see Kyle Busch all the way to the pit wall to get inside the 7, but can he make the corner? At that angle, he can't. The 7 will clear him, and Kyle Busch will be under attack from Tyler Reddick.
Here comes Reddick to the inside, but he won't be able to make the move. Allgaier taking Busch all the way to the pit lane. Now off 2. The battle is from second on back, and Christopher Bell, you're right on board with him there. He's trying to be a factor in this thing as well.
People ask all the time, can you see a talent out of a race car driver? Right now, out of Kyle Busch, you are seeing it. When you have a car that loose and teetering on the edge and able to race cars the way he is, that is why he's so talented.
You just saw Jet Burton make the move to get back in 5th place. Lost all those spots, you know, trying to get the 2nd spot. One guy got under him and several got on him as he go on board with Jet Burton. Now he's trying to run that top 4 down.
Jet Burton running in the 5th position. It's Allgaier, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell, the top 4, and another challenge for the lead. Allgaier on the inside, trying to get by the 18. Now Busch. Is he going to pull away? Will they make it 3 wide for the lead?
Here they come. Busch trying to slide his way back around the outside. It won't work. The car bobbles off 2, and that leaves the inside open for Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell is there as well.
Eggman, I don't know how he is doing this. He's just throwing moves that just shouldn't work in that 18 car. Tyler Reddick now has the run. He moves the outside, tries to trick the 7 Allgaier, but Allgaier blocks him and keeps the lead.
It's Justin Allgaier out front. Reddick now running second as we go NASCAR nonstop.
Back at Indianapolis with 27 laps to go. You saw that battle for the lead in NASCAR nonstop. Time for our Toyota driver update. And you see Christopher Bell sitting in 3rd. His teammate Kyle Busch right behind him in 4th, and Brandon Jones in 6th. But for Bell, there's a bit of an issue. He came on the radio, said, I'm still tight. I don't get it after those adjustments. And that is the reason why there's a small hole in the nose of that 20 car. Steve, it's little, but that will affect the aerodynamics on the car. And here's how he got the contact a moment ago. Contact, oddly enough, with the 2 car. Remember, it was earlier in the race that Tyler Reddick had contact with a 20 car, damaged his nose. That little damage on that nose of the 20 car.
Small hole, but as Marty said, you know, it doesn't take much. As you see, Allgaier, Reddick, Bell, Busch. Oh, well, look at the last car in that lead pack now. You can't miss it. That Menards bright yellow car, that 22 of Austin Cindric, Kelly.
Remember, they played their hand at with a little strategy. Crew chief Brian Wilson called Austin Cindric in before the pits closed to end stage 2. Well, then during the stage break, Austin had a vibration. He also thought he had a tire going down, so they made a second pit stop after getting the free pass to get him back on the lead lap, and he has been on a tear. Austin Cindric up 14 positions now since the restart, running 7th right now.
One of the things I noticed, he was 4/10 lap faster than anyone else on the racetrack that last lap, using those new tires to good effect.
Yeah, that's really helping him. And one thing I'm noticing too, you see Jeb Burton in an 8 car. Ahead of him is Kyle Busch. Jeb had been all over Kyle. Now Kyle is starting to inch away just a little bit. I'm wondering if Kyle's car is starting to get more like he wants it.
10 laps on this run. There's still 24 to go. So if it goes green to the end, that'll be a 34-lap run to finish.
Tyler Reddick running in second. He is the fly in Justin Allgaier's ointment right now. He can't shake him. Further back, one man on the move. Brandon Jones. He'll dive to the inside of Jeb Burton. He will pick up the 5th position, and now Brandon Jones is starting to make his way closer to the front.
The one thing I'm wondering as we go on board here with Jeb Burton, looking at the Austin Cindric ahead of him, is when does that car come in for Kyle Busch? Are we going to wait? Is it going to be too late that it comes in? As Brandon Jones starts to move forward on this longer run, is it ever going to come in time for 18?
As we ride along with Jeb, I talked about, you know, was Kyle getting better or is Jeb just getting worse? Looks like a lot of wheels. See how he's having to just crank that wheel to the left. No right movement whatsoever. That tends to make me believe that he's gotten too tight. Won't turn good.
Yep, he's fallen back to the 7th position. Allgaier and Reddick only 0.2 of a second separate the top 2.
And it's slowly starting to become a 3-man dance here. 3 guys pulling away. Kyle Busch just cannot get things going. That chassis issue that he's got, it doesn't seem to be getting any better because he's losing ground to the front 3. And right now he's got his teammate trying to take a spot away. That would be the 4th position.
That's what I thought. Brandon Jones looked pretty sporty right there. Got really close to 18 off of turn 2. He's going to have the momentum here. So look at Christopher Bell looking, just diving to the outside, and Tyler Reddick just puts a little air on the nose, gets back behind him, trying to figure out how he's going to create that run to make the pass.
And just giving Tyler something to look at, right? Kind of take his focus away. Try the left, try the right. Even if you know it's not going to work, just make Tyler Reddick be looking at something other than just being able to pay attention to what's in front of him.
This battle for second heating up, trying to catch Justin Allgaier, who's in the lead right now. Tyler Reddick said on the radio a moment ago, I feel like we're actually better than the 7 car, but right here on the entry of turn 1, Bagman, he said my car starts to push, can't make any moves on the 7.
And that's very clear. Right now, Reddick is in an impossible position. He's trying to go on the offense and take the lead away, while at the same time play defense and keep second from Christopher Bell. Reddick in the impossible spot as one car is in trouble in turn number 1. It's John Hunter Nemechek. The car will break loose. He'll slide up, make contact with the outside wall. Everybody takes evasive maneuvers to avoid a spinning John Hunter Nemechek, who crashes into the safer barrier in turn 1.
We saw a lot of the grass flying on the racetrack there. It looks like John Hunter Nemechek might have caught the grass, and then that got him back out onto the wall. We'll have to take another look at what happened there with the 23, but we did see him sliding up into the wall and a lot of damage to the right side of that car.
See him on the bottom of the racetrack. It looks like it just spins like a tire goes down, to be quite honest. I don't know if the left rear's flat. It's hard to see in the smoke, but the snap spin in the middle of the court. It spun so hard it drove the nose into the grass. Looks to me like an issue on the 23. That doesn't look like a standard spin of somebody who just loses control. We'll have to see what he has to say, but it looked like maybe a tire down for the 23 car.
So 21 laps to go, Steve. Are we going to think that tires are that important that you're going to have to come to pit road?
Well, as we see the 23 try to come to pit road, limping around with some damage. That's really the question. So, Burton, I'm going to throw it. You and I had this conversation. You know, can Jason Burdett take Justin Allgaier out of the lead to put fresh tires on this 7 car? I think tires matter. I think you're going to want tires. 21 laps to go. Are we going to see a rash of yellows? How much green flag racing are we going to see? I think from what I've seen today, you have to come get tires. I don't think track position wins this race. I think tires win this race.
Yeah, I think if you waited, you know, to maybe the next caution, you may just have too many cars in front of you that have tires. You won't have enough time to get by. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think if you're going to come, now's a good time to come down pit road. Now, listen, somebody could gamble. Somebody that doesn't have a shot to win, maybe the 11 car of Haley, maybe somebody like that does whatever the leaders don't do to try to get themselves off sequence.
Jeff, I can tell you Tyler Reddick and Randall Burnett just had that debate, and Tyler Reddick said, I don't care what everybody else says. I can tell you, for me, tires are going to make a difference at the end of this race. Probably have about, what, Steve, 18 laps to go once they get the green after this round of what could be pit stops.
Yeah, 17 or 18 laps. And I know they're almost wide open in drafting, but I just think those fresh tires let you be aggressive. Aggressive on the pedals, aggressive on the wheel. So it looks to me like the 7 of Justin Allgaier, it looks like pit road is still closed. The 23 had just entered pit road with a little damage, so NASCAR left pit road. So now what that does do is, you heard Marty just say about 18 laps. So now as a crew chief, you instantly go, oh, now maybe it's going to be 17 laps. You know, you're starting to lose laps in the race. So the big concern is that, you know, there's 26 cars in the lead lap. So if you peel out, say you're the 7 of Justin Allgaier, you pit. That's the right call. Reddick follows you. But what if Bell and Kyle Busch say, no, we're going to race for track position? In that first stage, the 2 of us drove off the front of the field. We'll be untouchable. If that happens, and they convince 8 or 10 other cars to do it with them, now tires are lining up row 5, row 6. Why I think tires are faster, it's not just what you do. You're trying to guess what everyone else is going to do as well. If I'm Jason Burdett, I'm coming to get tires.
Let's go to the Mobile One Peacock pit box. And Junior, what would you do?
Well, I always like to have the tires. I want to be on the offense as a driver, not the defense. I don't want to have to be looking in the mirror the whole time. But it's hard to tell exactly what the right call is to try to win the race. Depends on how many guys come down pit road with you. One of the things that I liked about what Parker said before the last restart, need to look in that second row to see who the pushers are for this restart, to see who's going to be able to take control of this race off turn 1, turn 2.
All right, so we will see what the decision is for these teams when they open pit road up.
You can come get tires and then ride it out.
There you go.
And you see, I call it stress, but it's nerves. It's good nerves. It's time to perform. These pit crew members, we you know, Rutledge talked about how we'd seen a couple mistakes on pit road, how valuable these pit stops are going to be. When no pit stop will be more valuable than this one, because with 20 to go, this is it, right? You're not going to come again on strategy. You might if you have an issue. It's time for these pit crew members to show up.
That sounded to me like Eddie DeHaan that said that come get tires just a moment ago. He's the spotter for the 7 of Justin Allgaier. So Allgaier leads this field onto pit road. Sure enough, everyone follows him onto pit road. Dylan?
And Kyle Busch has been dropping, fell back to 4th there on that green flag run. Said the car will not turn from the center of the corner off, and he feels like the rear has come unhooked. So they're going to undo the air pressure change they made on the last stop and make a track bar adjustment on the 18. Kelly?
I think crew chief Jason Burdett will breathe a sigh of relief after seeing so many other cars come to pit road, because he did not sound confident in his decision to bring Justin Allgaier down. But they decided on 4 sticker Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, Marty.
Tyler Reddick said my car is free early, but then it goes too tight too quickly. He said, just free it up. I'll deal with it early in the run. This is a very well-timed pit stop for Christopher Bell and his race team. 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Also a little tape over that hole in the nose. We'll see if that pays off for the 20. And a little 2-tire pit stop there, Rick, getting the lead for Justin Haley.
Yeah, and Steve, you mentioned it. Maybe they should gamble. Justin Haley, they haven't been competitive up to this point. They've been running 10th to 15th. Let's try a 2-tire stop, see how it happens. We'll be back for the restart after this. to help people affected by Hurricane Dorian, visit redcross.org or text Dorian to 90999 to donate $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Dorian Relief. So many people affected in the Bahamas and then all along the East Coast. So we would always appreciate you helping out any way you can. By the way, those horns you heard definitely weren't from the race cars. 16th Street runs right on the other side of the grandstands. One place that everybody on the track right now would like to end up is in Victory Lane. Right now, Rutledge Wood is there.
Rick, it is going to be a party here coming up. I mean, the amount of history that exists in this space right here. You think about all the greats that have come to Victory Lane at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's no milk today, but it is going to be a party. The other thing is there's a music festival going on in the infield. I think Blanco Brown's coming up in a little while with the song The Get Up. It is a magic party coming through the infield right now. I heard a lot of honking on my way over here. So any way you cut it, there's a party happening here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And we know how good today is. Tomorrow's going to be even better.
Yeah, what an event.
Rick, I got to go.
You're ready?
Well, I got 17 more laps in me, but then, right. I mean, the concert looks like the place to be. I would go there, 17 more laps.
Should be a lot of fun. Field 2x2 once again. Before we get the restart, let's go to Dave.
Checking in with Alex Jans, who made the call there for the two right side tires. Did you guys discuss this, and does the driver kind of know what he's getting into here?
The first time we discussed it was when he stopped here on pit road. I just told him not to slide him, you know. We had to kind of make a call here to put ourselves in contention to win. We felt like we could kind of run 8th, you know, where we were, so we had to make a call, and we felt like this would put us in the best position, and track position's been really important all day, so hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, the interesting thing for Justin Haley had a bad pit stop earlier, put him back. Car was fastest on track several times during that last run, guys.
You know, to make this work, you know, it's all about this restart on this race, but an advantage to what they've got going on is Williams in that 36. He stayed out. So if Justin Haley can get a good start, he can end up with the lead. It'll be really hard to get by him.
Josh Williams in the 36, Justin Haley in the 11. They're making up row number 1. Again, Josh Williams didn't come to pit road. Justin Haley came to pit road for a 2-tire pit stop. And then behind him, the 7 of Justin Allgaier and Tyler Reddick in the 2. 16 laps to go from Indianapolis. And right away, the 7 of Justin Allgaier is going to make it 3 wide for the lead.
Diving down to the inside, trying to scoop up the lead, but he won't be able to do it at the entrance of 1. Can he do it by the time they get to 2? Right now, it's Haley in command. Here's Allgaier to the inside. Tyler Reddick is in the mix. A tight 3-man formation for the lead off turn 2.
And Justin Allgaier had no choice there. He had to make that move, otherwise he was going to get held up as so many behind him have. He makes the block on Brandon Jones, trying to hold him off. Tyler Reddick going to the inside, and Justin Haley with the run from pushed by Christopher Bell. He's going to take the lead through turn 3.
Great move by Reddick, but look at the spots. The fastest car on the racetrack, the 7 car, is lost on this restart. He's back there in 5th place right now. He has a lot of work cut out for him.
16 to go, though. The 7 should have time. Just stop the losses. That's what he's done. Move the momentum back forward. Now we can go on the attack outside the 11 of Haley. The crossover in front of the 11, trying to get under the 18. Kyle Busch blocks.
They are slinging those cars from side to side, trying to get every bit of momentum they can get. Bad move for Justin Haley, that 2-tire stop. He is plummeting through the field as Austin Cindric will dive to his inside, and he will pick up the 6th position off turn 2.
It's all about the blocks and trying to carry that momentum or cover momentum from the others. Christopher Bell has got the momentum on Tyler Reddick. He goes inside. Tyler was not able to react quick enough. He's most likely going to have to give up his lead. They go into 3. Christopher Bell to the lead.
Christopher Bell with a strong move. Here comes Kyle Busch trying to take advantage of that. Also has Allgaier all over him, getting off turn 4.
And we got to fight for the 3rd place position, and Allgaier trying to get it from the 18. But up front, it's Christopher Bell leading. This is a racetrack he's never won at before. So Christopher Bell, 6 wins already on the season out front.
Two-car breakaway between Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick. The logjam starts at third. That's Kyle Busch trying to hang on to the spot. He's got Brandon Jones. He's got Justin Allgaier lined up behind him as everybody now will work their way to the back straightaway.
Justin Allgaier's got to get to work here and get by those two in front of him. If he wants to go after those front two, he'll start to lose just too much performance behind all those cars here. He's going to have to start to make some moves and make them stick to get up to those lead cars.
How about that 19 car, Brandon Jones? He's been fast all day long. Allgaier made the move underneath Kyle Busch, and Brandon Jones pushed Kyle Busch and actually lost Allgaier's spot. Good move by Brandon Jones.
That's what's hurting Justin Allgaier. Numbers: 3 Joe Gibbs cars inside the top 5. 1 Junior Motorsports car. He's looking for a little help. Somebody to help him push him through, trying to complete some of these passes.
Yeah, right now, Justin Allgaier, Tyler Reddick, men with no country because they've got nothing to rely on to help them get back to the front of the field. That is until Allgaier peels to the inside. Wow, what a move by Allgaier. Powers his way to the bottom of Brandon Jones, and he'll pick up position number 4.
It's the same move he used to get the lead twice from Kyle Busch. It's the turn under everyone else off of turn 1. That car just cuts so well. It's so impressive to watch him do that. Austin Cindric trying to get by here, but Brandon Jones, they end up side by side. Oh, contact! They're in the wall!
Brandon Jones sliding. He's going to hit the inside wall. Caution's going to come out. There was contact between Brandon Jones and the 22 of Austin Cindric. You see Brandon Jones with the damage to his race car. Austin Cindric is also going to have a little bit of damage as well to the 22. With just 12 laps to go now, the caution has come out. It has been dicey, to say the least. Everyone in the top 10 has been fighting for positions. Well, they got a little bit too close here. 22 gets into the 19, and the 19 gets into the wall.
Everybody, as we look at this accident with the 19 car, I want to go back to what I said at the start of the show. If you get a run, you've got to take it. It's 14 laps to go, and down the back straightaway, the 19 gets an opportunity to make a pass on his teammate Kyle Busch, but he decides to push Kyle Busch down the back straightaway instead. And that cost him a position the next lap by, just as Allgaier went around the 19. And then shortly thereafter, he's in an accident with the 22 car. So when you get these runs, especially this late in the race, you have to take them. That's the mentality that we have at Daytona and Talladega. You got to have that same mentality now here at Indy.
We're going to go down the strip, do some burnouts. You can do it. Just put her in first and pin it. Good luck. Okay. Is there room for one more?
Yes, get in.
All right, great. I'll get in the back. Go get him, Harv. Is this how you imagined your Burnout Boulevard experience to go, Kyle?
At some point, yes, because I figured our show car would blow up.
Here we go. It's like a tug of war.
That was a Ford versus Chevy battle. Hey, style points, though.
Creativity. It's a solid
points.
10.
Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
Tires come apart.
Do not tear your car up. Whatever you do, go have fun, do a burnout, put on a show, but don't tear your car up. He tore the hell out of it.
Who will be most creative this Thursday? That'll be live from Las Vegas, 7 Eastern.
Drivers don't listen. So much fun. So much fun.
Well, next Saturday nights on NBCSN, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series in Las Vegas for the last race of the regular season. Who's going to make the cut? Who will miss those playoffs? That race coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Coming down to the final, it'll be 8 laps for this race from Indy. Marty?
Tyler Reddick not feeling very confident. His team trying to pump him up. Listen to the radio.
We are in a good spot. We got you behind the wheel of the 2, and we're going to have around 8 or 9 laps to go, and we go green, and we're going to win this. So let's just stay focused. We're all good.
I second what Derek said.
I'll third that. Yeah, we got a good chance those 2 Gibbs cars going to line up. That 7's been one of the quicker cars. He'll line up behind us.
And those two here talking about are the Joe Gibbs racing cars. Christopher Bell has the advantage of his teammate Kyle Busch pushing him on this restart. Watch the hand signal, see when they go.
And it's not just the front stretch. Turn 2, Rick. You need to get a good launch here, but you have to get off turn 2 to head down that back stretch. If you bobble down there, you're going to lose a ton of spots.
How much help will the front row get? You've got Kyle Busch behind the 20 of Christopher Bell. He puts the hand out the window to let him know he's ready to go. And right away they lock bumpers. On the outside, the 7 has already got into the back of the 2. They're side by side as they go to 1.
Here comes Reddick around the outside, getting a great shove from Justin Allgaier. Bell got one from Busch, but it's going to be Reddick that'll get the fender out in front. Side by side into 2. They make contact. Reddick and Bell hard into the outside wall. Everybody races to their inside, and just a sledgehammer shot into the safer barrier as the front 2 crash with 8 laps to go at the Brickyard.
Sorry.
So much damage between the 20 and the 2. And a big, big hit for both of those cars. Reddick, you see him moving around, taking the hose off his helmet. He's about to climb out of that car.
Tyler Reddick said on the radio, guys, sorry, I did too much right there on that restart.
It's that area that's track I talked about. Accelerating on the front stretch is one thing, but you know between turns 1 and 2, you have to be perfect. Your momentum off turn 2 is where the pass was going to happen, somewhere on the back stretch. Reddick knew he had to be on the door of that 20, had to somehow pin him down, stop the momentum, and in the end there was just not enough real estate. You're going to see right here, side by side heading down into turn 1. They are connected to the 20 wiggles. I don't think really Reddick did anything wrong, nor did Christopher Bell. That was actually into turn 2. He tries to get on the door of the 20, which is, I think, what Reddick has to do. That's how you win the race. And Christopher Bell stays in the gas because that's what he has to do. And it's just not enough grip in the 20 car. You see the wiggles as he goes up the racetrack. Guess what? Reddick's there. So Reddick may have said on the radio that he took responsibility. I don't blame him at all. I'm blaming the 20, but it's not like he meant to. He just lost control of his car down there at the bottom.
Really very similar to what we saw a little bit ago with Austin Cindric and Brandon Jones, right? Car on the outside, kind of takes the air off the car on the inside, and car on the inside loses grip. That's what's going to happen. Early in the race, we didn't see this because the checkered flag wasn't getting ready to fall. Now the intensity's picking up. Nobody's going to lift.
Correct.
Man, that's a hard hit.
Guys, just to add on to that, one thing to remember is that Christopher Bell was struggling with that tight condition. They loosened that car up a ton. So they'd done that intention of making it turn past that tight condition from that damage up front. And, I mean, maybe that thing was too loose.
And you saw the two drivers, disappointed as they should be, but not mad at one another. They knew they both had the same thing. They saw a trophy. Out the window, what they see, they saw a trophy. And they knew to get to that trophy, the guy beside you is your biggest competitor. That actually is why you should watch. That's why we're fans.
That's
because
right.
at that moment, there was no teams, there was no points, there was no playoffs. It was at the historic Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the chance to kiss the bricks. And they drove off into turn 2 saying, my way to kiss the bricks is beating you.
Let's listen into the radio of Tyler Reddick. This is after the accident happened.
You're trying to win, but that's what you got to do.
That was Richard Childress. So car owner really letting him know that's what we needed. We wanted you to be as aggressive as you could because to win, you're going to have to be aggressive.
So this is something we don't talk about. This is the beauty of the current point system. 20 years ago, when every race matters for points for the end of the year, I don't remember seeing this happen on these restarts. But now Tyler Reddick knows, hey, I'm in the playoffs. Another win is what matters. I want to win at the Brickyard. That aggression turns into these fabulous finishes. It didn't work out for these two guys. And I agree completely with RC. Listen, could he have let the 20 go and tried to race him for the last 8 laps? Perhaps, but you don't want to let a guy go in the last 10 laps. So right here, see it again. Reddick on the outside. He actually gives him pretty good space. He gets loose. You know, the 20's already into him right there, and they're up the racetrack. That's a little late on the replay. You know, earlier, I mean, they're in there side by side. Jeff, you and I had this conversation. Which was going to be the tougher position? To be the guy on the outside, the inside? You told me you thought the guy on the inside. He had the less amount of air. Even though he had the preferred groove, it looked to me that that's what happened to Christopher Bell.
Yeah, they're both trying to carry so much throttle through that corner. Remember, on a restart, you're expecting to be able to run wide open through there. You're not completely up to speed yet. So when you are wide open in the gas, the car can't talk to you. It talks to you after you're already pointed in the wrong direction. It's so much harder when you are wide open versus, on lap 3 where you're off the throttle, and that's part of the reason. But listen, I heard Richard Childress. That's RC. He's fine, man. He don't care if you wreck going for the lead. Like, that's him. He likes that aggressiveness. He appreciates it, and he'll just get Tyler Reddick will get a pat on the back. Hey, man, great job. You did everything you could. That's Richard Childress.
Yeah, Richard Childress always fighting. He's seen a lot of aggressive driving. He's witnessed one of the greatest of all times in Dale Earnhardt and the successes that he had and the way he raced. So he was just passing along to Tyler Reddick, hey, what you were trying to do was win this race, and you can't fault him for that. Now, with the top 2 out, that moves Kyle Busch and Justin Allgaier up into the front row. Those 2 are running 1 and 2. Let's see if we can dial up Justin Allgaier on the radio.
All right, let's try to get him here. Hey, Justin, Steve Letarte up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, buddy, go ahead.
Well, man, you did it here a year ago. The 7 car has looked strong all day long. What are your thoughts here sitting under red with 7 to go?
Oh, man, a lot of thoughts. This Wildman Camaro has been fantastic all day, like you said, and especially in the long run. Doesn't look like we're going to get into the long run right here, that's for sure. But, it's so hard to pass and timing those runs really well and having some help. That's going to be the big deal. So we're going to have to do a good job. Obviously, Kyle's really good here. I got a teammate right behind me, and Jeb has been really fast all day as well, and Austin. So it's that last restart really jumbled us all up, and just unfortunate that we don't have to lead anymore. But all in all, like I said, you got a great car, and we're just going to keep after it here.
Well, you mentioned your teammate, you mentioned the runs. Take me into these closing laps. Is there a strategy of where you want to be as far as the lead or in second when you see the white, or is it take every run you get?
I think at this point it's take every run you get. There's too few laps, and if you got to run, you got to maximize it. It's going to take some help, especially if it's on a straightaway. It's going to take some help to get by a guy. So, having a teammate here obviously is a big advantage to us. But everybody wants to win these. That's when it comes down to the white flag lap, man. It's all bets are off, and everybody's going to win. So, I hope that we can finish this thing out strong. At least bring home a good finish if we can't take this thing to victory lane. And obviously love the Wildman colors. This flat blue looks good on this car. So we'll keep digging at it. But it ain't over until the checker flag drops. And I've had too many of these slip away in the closing laps here this year. That this one really I really want it bad, and hopefully we can do that.
Well, buddy, you've looked good all day long. We wish you the best for these last 7 laps. Appreciate you taking the time here, talking to the fans. I know they appreciate it. And your boss is going to like your answer there. Dale Jr. said, take every run possible. It's what he said all day long. You've done it. It's been looking good.
Thanks, Stevie. I'll tell you, man, the fans here are incredible. This place never fails to disappoint at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So hats off to the crew here at the track and everybody back at our shop that's put these cars together, because there's nothing I'd love to do than to go back-to-back at Indy. That'd be a big deal.
All right, let's listen to, or actually we're going to go to Kelly now.
Yeah, we heard from driver. Now let's hear from his crew chief, Jason Burdett. All right, so as Justin said, it's going to be basically a short run here to the end. How do you like your driver? How do you like your car for this, what could be the last restart?
I mean, I think Justin's done a great job all day. We've had really good speed. We got out front and led a lot of laps there through the middle section. So we'll see. These restarts are crazy. Obviously, Kyle will be on our inside, and he's one of the best. So, if we get a good push from behind, and we'll see what happens. I think we've got a good enough car that if we can get in line, even if we get in line second, we can get a good run at him and potentially, get by him.
What would a win here do for this team, not just because it's the Brickyard, but because of everything you guys have been through this season?
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. I mean, the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, we've probably had the fastest car and nothing to show for it in the end. So, if we could get a win here today, especially at this place, everybody loves coming here. Everybody dreams of winning a race here. We did that a year ago, so why not too?
They could go back-to-back. All right, we've heard from driver, crew chief. Why not hear from the team boss, Junior?
Yeah, down here, I think these cycles are definitely going to be helping Kyle Busch. We talked about how loose his car was in this last stage, and each time the caution comes out and those cycles happen on that tire, it should tighten his car up. So that's got to give him a lot of confidence on this next restart to really hammer the car down into turn 1 and through turn 2, try to take control of that lead and take control of the race. We saw it as well throughout the first several restarts of the race. A lot of momentum building from the car in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place, pushing that 2nd place car into opportunities to pass the leader. Now, that's going to present opportunities for Allgaier, or whoever that person is, to try to make that pass. But if they don't make that pass, we've also seen that person get trained and go all the way back to 5th, 6th place. These restarts are going to be hairy on this on these next couple of laps. The guys in 2nd place, or the 2nd row rather, that are pushing these lead cars are key players in what's going to happen. Also, I think what we just seen on that racetrack out there between the 20 and the 2 is a preview of what's coming in these playoffs. I think these playoffs are going to be really intense. These guys are going to be able to take those kind of risks as well out there in those playoff rounds.
Oh, I think the intensity is absolutely going to pick up, Junior, in the playoffs, as you mentioned. I want to go back to the crew chief of the 7, Jason Burnett. Jason and I have been friends for a long time. He's worked for me for years. We've worked together years ago, and after Bristol, he was crushed. After that race, stayed out on old tires, thought he delivered a win, had that flat tire. We had a long conversation, starting to doubt himself. Hey, is that the right call? Should I have done that? And that's what I think you see with a team like this. I told him, I love the call. It was the right call. You ran the fastest lap of the race the lap before you had a flat tire. So I use the word confidence. That's what happens to a team that's as good as a 7 that doesn't get to victory lane. Justin starts questioning himself. Jason starts questioning himself. They have not had the year they want, but if they could win here at the Brickyard and beat Kyle Busch doing it, there's no telling what that springboard may look like off into the playoffs.
So with just 7 to go, and when they come back around, it'll be 6 to go. Let's look to see how we got here. Justin Allgaier. See him making this aggressive move on the backstretch. That was back in 2018 as we flash back to last year's race. And then the move there, trying to get to the inside of Christopher Bell.
He proved it. He wasn't the leader last year. He had that move, that great 3-wide move, and then battled the 9 in the closing laps, put himself in the right position. That was the same rules package, the same type of racing. So we've always talked about this. How do you get good at something? You've been there before. Kyle Busch has been there before, but so hasn't Justin Allgaier. Jeff Burton, in my mind, he's a little bit of the wild card in here in that 8 car. I'm not ruling him out. Austin Cindric, I'm not ruling any of these drivers out. And Jeff Burton has drove a heck of a race. Only his 5th start in this car this year. He's been up front, making the most of it. Here he is. He'll restart in the 3rd position in the Xfinity race at the Brickyard.
Dave.
And the infield care center is the location now. I'm sure Tyler Reddick would like to get a look at this, but first tell us how you are. That was an awesome hit into the outside wall there.
It's pretty solid. I mean, this racetrack's kind of designed where you got a right-hand corner, or left-hand corner, 4 of them that are 90 degrees. So you can hit the wall pretty good here. And fortunate part is I kind of got to see it in the care center before I came out. No one in this garage or in NASCAR and racing in general should ever question Christopher's driving ability. That wasn't the issue there. His car just simply got loose, and we just got together, and we didn't really have a lot of racetrack. It's end of the race, we're going for it type deal. Nothing against Christopher. He did nothing wrong. His car just got loose. It's just part of racing at the end of this place at going for the win.
All right, and I'm going to walk right over to Christopher Bell here. Christopher stepped outside of the infield care center as well. Christopher, back in 2002, they installed safer barrier here, but we also heard you say on the radio that was pretty hard hit. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I am very thankful for those safer barriers, that's for sure. But I don't know, out of all my crashes, all my NASCAR crashes, that definitely takes the cake. That one hurt a little bit.
Tell us what you were feeling in the race car there. We saw a little wiggle. We'll see it here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't exactly know what happened, but both of us had our foots down going into 2, and I guess I slipped just enough being on the inside of him there that affected both of us.
You can see the checkers from here, Christopher. Your next Brickyard has to wait a year.
Yeah, I mean, 8 laps is still a long time around this place, so it was far from over, but proud of everyone on this Ream team. They did a really good job, brought a really fast Supra, and we're going to Vegas, which has been pretty good to us in the past, and hopefully we can win there.
All right, Christopher Bell locked into the playoffs. Disappointment today.
And that's just how hungry these drivers are. Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, they want to win. They want to win at this racetrack. They wanted to win so bad that they may have pushed it a little bit too hard. I mean, you heard Tyler Reddick. No one's going to question Christopher Bell's ability behind the wheel, but maybe you pushed that machine just a little bit too far.
I really appreciate and have become a fan of these two drivers. And I'm going to throw Cole Custer in while he's not in this story. These groups of drivers race each other week in and week out, beating and banging. One of them ends up on top more than most. But yet, here they are out of the race, both crushed, both disappointed, but can understand the motivation and the goal of the other driver. They understand how the accident happened, and it just makes for great racing. And this is what auto racing is supposed to be. It is a battle, a true battle to a trophy. And that's what these two are trying to do. And now we have another great battle in front of us, right? Kyle Busch, Justin Allgaier, Jeb Burton, Austin Cindric, Gregson, Custer. I mean, Sieg, Haley, the list goes on. Briscoe, Annette. There's a whole group. And you just heard 8 laps is a long time. Well, so is it 5.
And it's going to be 4. Let's bring in the guys around the track with Mike, Parker, and Jeff. All right, Mike, what do you think? We got 4 to go.
And that crash was a game changer, Rick, but you've also got Kyle Busch and Justin Allgaier. They've showed speed. They have led laps here as well. But to Stevie's point, you got a lot of stories stacked up behind them as well. Who knows what we're going to see? Parker, what do you think?
Well, I like Dale Jr.'s point about taking a run when you have the opportunity. The point here, though, at Indy 3 that I'll be watching is where do you go with that run? If that leader you have the run on blocks the inside, do you send it around the outside? We've seen passes done there a couple times in this race. It's going to have to be a brave move, but could it be done here to take the lead and win this race, Jeff?
I think there's plenty of bravery at the front of the field. Kyle Busch, Allgaier, we know that, but Jeb Burton running a limited schedule trying to prove his worth. Cindric's never won an oval race driving for Roger Penske at the Brickyard. Noah Gresham trying to get his first Xfinity win. Cole Custer, we know what he done. Ryan Sieg, look at all the people that have so much to gain. Expect some aggressive driving here in these last few laps.
You know, Rick, shame on me for not connecting these, but, Jeff brings up Penske in the Brickyard. I mean, it's not just driving for Penske. Same colors, same color car as the Indy 500 with Pagano.
Yes,
if you're going to deliver a win to the captain, you do it at the Brickyard.
How about that? Would that be an amazing story? And Ford has never won here in the Xfinity Series. And now the option there, they have Cindric, Cole Custer, up through the gears they go. 4 laps of racing. A great restart for Kyle Busch. He's got a lot of help from Jeb Burton behind him.
Justin Allgaier just does not get a good start. He's trying to regroup, and here he comes. Around the outside, he's trying to ease up alongside. Kyle throws the block. He'll keep the lead. He's in the clean air, and now the battle's on for second. What about Jeb Burton to the inside? Allgaier to the outside. They're wheel to wheel for second off 2.
And it doesn't look like Justin has the help. Now Noah Gragson moves up there to his back bumper to clear their teammate there, Jeb Burton in the 8. You see, I believe it's Cole Custer pushing Austin Cindric behind them. That allows the 7 to set his sights on Kyle Busch, especially that pusher, Noah Gragson.
And Ryan Sieg up the racetrack, almost got into Cindric. Cindric's able to save it. Here comes the 11 of Haley underneath Cindric. Cindric giving up a lot of positions right here. Cole Custer to 0-0 trying to take advantage of all that.
And a great run by the 7. Justin Allgaier was able to close the gap on the 18. Now just 3 laps to go from the Brickyard. Allgaier trying to get in another win. The top 2, they're the only winners here in the Xfinity Series.
2-car breakaway up front in Busch and in Allgaier. Further back, they're all stacked up. Austin Cindric, a challenge coming into turn number 1. He is off the pace, and he is out of contention to win this race. The leaders are on the backstretch.
And Justin Allgaier is probably going to have to use the move he's used throughout this race. It's going to come off at turn 1 unless he gets a massive run into turn 3. He has been so strong in turns 1 and 2. That is where he's going to have to make the move. But Kyle Busch knows it and will be protecting.
And Kyle Busch has had several times when the 7 car has gotten right underneath the rear bumper, almost moved you at the racetrack without contacting, just pushing that air. That's going to be Allgaier's path to victory, is just kind of moving that 18 out of the way with air.
Toyota versus Chevrolet, Joe Gibbs versus Junior Motorsports, Kyle Busch versus Justin Allgaier. 2 laps to go at the Brickyard.
Here they come now. Allgaier's looking. He's looking down to the inside, but he's not close enough to drop the hammer and make the move. In 2. Busch will block the approach. Allgaier has to follow him through, but Allgaier is with him stride for stride to the backstretch.
And I'm seeing the strength of that 7 car. Just look how much lower he is at the exit of the corners. He's peeking that nose out. He's able to do that because that car is turning better and has more grip than that 18 car. He's showing the strength. Can he use it? Can he use the moves that he's been using one, maybe off the 3. He's not close enough now.
Got to pass the best in the business if he's going to make it happen. Kyle Busch doing a great job, covering up the bottom of the racetrack, not making a mistake at all. Allgaier's got a little bit of a run. Can he apply enough pressure on the exit of turn 1?
1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. Kyle Busch trying to get to win number 100. He's going to make 96 if he gets back to the Brickyard first here in Indy.
For the final time into turn 1, here's Allgaier waiting to see if he has enough to make the move. So far in 1-0. So far in 2-0. Can he draw up off the corner? Here for the final time, Allgaier almost makes contact with the wall.
There was a slight wiggle on the 18 car there. Kyle Busch just couldn't open the door. He's not quite close enough. He might have the run here, but he doesn't have the momentum to make that move into 3. There was a slight bit of window open, and it just wasn't big enough for Justin Allgaier.
Allgaier's going to make a big arc into turn 4, trying to get to the bottom a little bit sooner. Hope the 18 wiggles. The 18's not going to make a mistake. Kyle Busch heads it at the checkered.
Kyle Busch in front of the 7. Kyle Busch is going to win again at the Brickyard.
Take me now. Awesome combo.
Kyle Busch has said the reason he's running the Xfinity Series races now, he wants to get to the magic number of 100. He has just won his 96th Xfinity Series race. One closer to that magic number. He's the winningest Xfinity Series driver of all time. What another run for Kyle Busch. He's done it again. You can't question the ability of the man behind the 18.
No, I mean, Justin Allgaier held him to the fire. He said, if you're going to win here today, you had to be perfect in those closing laps. The 7 could turn lower, get a little air to the nose, but he could never generate that run he needed. His 2 Junior Motorsports teammates in 3rd and 4th just fell a couple seconds back. They couldn't stay close enough to push their teammate by. Kyle Busch, you don't luck into 96 wins. I mean, let's be clear. Another just amazing drive out of the 18.
Yeah, his career here, incredible. In 7 starts, he's already got 4 wins.
Yeah, he swept the weekend here twice, Rick. This is race 1. I wouldn't bet against him.
Can he get another Brickyard 400 win? That will come potentially tomorrow. A valiant effort given by Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, and Jeb Burton, finishing 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But in the end, it was a strong performance again by Kyle Busch. He's going to back it up to get back to victory lane. That yard of bricks extends from the outside wall all the way underneath the pagoda and into the fan area that's inside the track area. He's driving over it right now to get back into victory lane, which he's done now for the 4th time in the Xfinity Series. The tradition that started with Dale Jarrett back in 1996 when he was able to win at the Brickyard will continue in the Xfinity Series. We'll see Kyle Busch will take his team out and kiss the bricks. And obviously a frustrated and disappointed Justin Allgaier getting out of his number 7. Let's go back into victory lane and Dylan.
And Kyle Busch in victory lane, getting the hat on, and he's getting set to celebrate his 4th Indianapolis win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And it was a trying day for this group as they battled handling conditions all afternoon long and finally got that track position at the end on that late restart, and it paid dividends. Here he is, Kyle Busch, your winner at Indianapolis. And when you got back in traffic, it seemed like the handling of the car went away. How big was that clean air at the end ultimately?
It was huge. You know, just
really tough to pass, even when you had to run on guys. You could pass some of the guys that were built more for long run longevity. The 7 was. You could pass him on the straightaways, but other than that, you know, some of those other guys, the 20, the 19, JGR cars, they were fast, and 2 was fast. So overall, it's just, man, I don't know. We got back in traffic and just really fought the handling of this thing, even from 4th place. And even when I got to 3rd, I was trying to run down those front 2 guys when the 19 was behind me and just couldn't do anything. Getting close enough to them through the corners. We're good on the straightaways, but overall, just real proud of this team and all these guys. Thank Combos. I'm in my M&M stuff, same company, just different brand with Combos, Stuffed Snacks. We appreciate those guys, and this Toyota Supra was awesome today, so proud to bring it home victory lane.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Kyle Busch, a winner again in Indianapolis. Step 1 of the weekend sweep underway.
Yeah, can he bring the broom to Indianapolis once again? A great restart got him up front, and Allgaier couldn't get back by him. Kyle Busch wins at Indy once again. We'll come back for more post-race coverage right after this.